There he goes. Now it's live.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Wright Way on the Wright Way Podcast. We got great guests tonight. We are getting ready to start a great week. Now, this is a makeup because I was out of town on Friday and I didn't have no way to do this. I was like, my aunt didn't have the best internet, so I was like, we'll save for Tuesday. But I'm glad we did because we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of special guests. Right here, we got my McMahon Video Game Vulture. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's happening, brother? How y'all doing out there?
And we also gonna have some people jumping in soon. They just running a little late getting their lights and stuff set up. But another person we got, one of my close personal friends, he is like, this guy does it all. As you see in the background, all the machines he got me started on getting like arcade machines and stuff like that. But we got Joe. He's from the mid Greek. Yeah, say it again. The
mid Christ. We got it.
I'm about to go through a midlife crisis trying to say that. Hey man, Joe, tell everybody what you've been up to and tell you about yourself.
Oh man, you know how it goes. I got a channel. You can go to midgeekcrisis.com, find all my links there for YouTube, Twitch, all the social media, etc., merch, all the stuff. Been doing it for about 3+ years. It's more of just a fun thing, right? You know, I hop on with my partner in crime, my buddy Pedro from New York. And we just hop on every Wednesday night at 8:30 Central Time and kind of do a topical thing, kind of like what we're doing tonight. Just kind of shoot the shit.
That's good, man. So you're starting tomorrow night. I'm glad you said shoot the stuff right after the 30 seconds. So hopefully they don't get demonetized.
That's right.
You forgot
about that. They changed those rules, man. They got to watch it.
I know, right? You can say damn and I guess hell, but you can't say the other stuff.
You can't say the other stuff. That's right.
Yeah, you can't say it, not until like what, a minute after or 3 minutes. After.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Just changed that recently.
Joe, you're gonna test it tonight. We're gonna see if we don't get money.
Let's go.
But lives don't get monetized that much anyway. But anyway, we got a brand new YouTuber, one of my friends, another collector here. I called him one of my I guess challengers, or just when I go out of town, he find the most stuff. I'm like, dude, stay out of my Goodwill. We got Retro NES. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? New to YouTube, been new to the game for a month, so I just started a month ago.
But you've been collecting, right, for whatever, huh?
Yeah, collecting a little bit of everything for the last couple years. Big on Neo Geo. This whole shelf right here is all Neo Geo stuff.
Oh, just stop showing off Neo Geo. This whole wall is Neo Geo.
Is it all AES?
Yes, all AES.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you gonna flex with the Turf Masters?
I have it on MVS, not AES. Yeah,
because that's what you do, right? Like you're supposed to you flex by. We had made that joke, Steve, but instead of wearing gold chains or whatever, you just walk around with Neo Turf Masters around your neck.
Right here. See, look, I got a fake gold chain right here.
That's how I get robbed. I need that.
And jumping on the podcast, my homeboy all the way from ATL, A Omega. What's up, man? Oh, you muted, brother.
Got that mute monster going.
Get that music going on. He got on so quick, he forgot to turn the sound on. Right. You all right?
He'll get it going. He'll get.
Yeah, just pop in your sound when you can, man.
Yeah, I keep forgetting every time I get on here. It keeps defaulting to my headset mic instead of my actual mic.
Dude, hey, I'm running the same problems too. What's up, man?
I'm good. Sorry about the tardiness. Just taking care of some things around the house. Have some people hating on me on Twitter as per usual. But yeah, we good now, man. We good. What's up? How's everybody doing tonight?
Right?
Oh man, it's doing good, man. We just, like I said, this is a makeup. We usually do this every Friday night, right after SmackDown at 9:00. So we just expanding and growing and just having fun and just chilling back and just talking about the week of what happened in the game and in pop culture. And speaking of this pop culture, we're gonna start it off with, man, did y'all see? I'm so embarrassed to say this though, but did y'all see the new Flash trailer during the Super Bowl? I was talking about. I haven't talked with anybody, but man, it makes me like feel bad now because I want to go see it, and I guess the Flash is a horrible person, but now I want to see it because
Ezra Miller is problematic.
Yeah, it's problematic. But
yes, sir, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's the best
boy, got some issues.
But that movie, that trailer, Michael Keaton looked good as Batman still.
Yeah, he did.
Look good, man.
Ain't that man like pushing like late 50s, 60s now?
Oh,
Yeah.
he's in his late 70s, mid.
He's late 70s. Damn, he look really
Yeah.
he looked really good in that trailer. Hey, I'm not sure if
part
they're using
black.
like I'm not sure if they're using that AI or whatever to like kind of young them, like make him younger or anything. But if they're not, hey, look, hey, God treat him good, man.
He's 71.
Wow.
Still got his acting chops.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I know it's not. Well, I'm gonna say before the show. I'm gonna say for the show. Like I gotta show those. I'm gonna share that shit. But man, that movie is going to be wild. They said they're supposed to reset the whole DC universe.
Yeah,
what y'all think about it? I want to talk about it.
You know I'm a DC guy, man. So like,
Yeah, I know, Joe. Go.
You can hold. You're gonna have to hold me back if you're gonna start this topic. So just
go, Joe. Go ahead, take it.
I mean, like, so the DC, it's hard being a DC fan, right? Like, I don't know if anybody else is a big DC fan. It's easy being a Marvel fan, and not only that, it's very easy to jump in to be a Marvel fan. There's a lot of individuals that their introduction to comics, introduction to just that superhero genre, is the Marvel way. It's the way that Disney has really set that template for superhero movies, and with that kind of now the new way of doing things, anything that doesn't follow those rules for a long time was seen as like not good. And so DC's kind of just been, it's been a mismanagement issue from the very get-go. They've gone through multiple CEOs on media and just jumping from Jeff Johns, the merger with Discovery and all that. So left and right, dropping projects, announcing projects too early, trying to follow suit, trying to introduce this universe way too soon, not organically and slow like Marvel did. And with that caused bad movies. If you're a DC fan, you might like some of them, but they're not to the level of Marvel. And then now we're almost 30 movies into the Marvel universe. And now Marvel's getting those haters, right? Mm-hmm. Now you're getting that same commentary that you get for DC that like, oh, Marvel fell off. All these movies are horrible. I mean, go look at the reviews right now for Ant-Man. And with all of that said, they brought in James Gunn recently, right? So after the big debacle in November with Black Adam and Henry Cavill being announced that he's back, only for that not to have been actually contractually set in stone, James Gunn was already kind of in the works to be, head of DC, the DCEU, and kind of running that, being the showrunner for all of that. And that in mind, I guess they didn't talk to him about it. So as soon as he came in, he was like, all these guys are gone. Like, let's go. they're so he nixed all of these movies. He just kind of cut everything up, said that things were going to be rebooted, kind of laid out a whole new timeline that was announced early December. And then in January, right at the end of January, he put out a 3-minute, 5-10 minute like clip kind of explaining where he's going with all of this and announced all of these new projects. So we've got Superman Legacy, and we've got a new Batman and Damian movie coming out soon. And we've got all of these new, I think it's the first wave, as they're calling it now, is Gods and Monsters is what they're saying. And so we're going to get a new Batman. We're going to get a new Superman in the DCEU. But with all that it said, all of these movies that came before it, there's a lot of fans. And The Flash has been a movie that's been done. It's been in the can for about a year and a half. So almost 2 years, too, right? And and all of it was pushed back because of cancellations, because of all sorts of issues, because of Ezra Miller, running into, doing all sorts of like things, illegalities. And now with the reboot announced, they basically made this movie be the tail end, the reboot, the thing that starts it all over, which is exciting, but also like you're ambivalent. You don't want to, as a DC fan, it's hard to have hope for Marvel, for DC movies. At what point are we going to get more? If we do get something we like, are we going to get a follow-up only for it to be canceled? And so this Flash movie kind of leaves us with that, like, are we going to like what we see, and are we going to get any more of it? Because we probably won't. That's what's sad about it. It looks so good, all of these things that they're showing, but we're not going to see some of these characters ever again.
Yeah.
Well, I was super pumped for Henry coming back, and then when they pulled that off, I was like, I'm done with DC. Yeah. And then I saw the Flash trailer, and I'm like, let me go ahead and
bring it right back.
Bust a U-turn real quick.
They did my boy Henry Cavill pretty dirty, man.
Yeah, they did.
As soon as he announced he was coming back, it was like, you thought just coming back? Let me go and take that check. Like, right.
But my boy, The Rock, man, he tried to make that power play, and he did. They pumped him.
Yeah,
I was like, dang,
they pumped the brakes on him hard.
Rock was he did good. The Black Adam, I liked it, and not even a big fan of Black Adam. It was good. It was a good B movie. You know,
it's a good movie. It's not Black Adam isn't. He's not a front runner.
No, he's
villain.
not a major hero.
Right.
Or
So
antagonist.
yeah,
Just something Rock wanted to do, and Rock finally got to do it. He found the right time, and also too, like the Justice League or Justice Society. I mean, those dudes was like, hey, you know, you couldn't.
they're just not. They weren't fleshed out, but there was a lot of good there. Like, what was nice about those characters is you didn't need to know them. You just didn't. You didn't need to know them. They just showed up and they did heroics. And I mean, if you're expecting origin films for every single hero that comes out, that's just not. We're in a post Marvel world where you've got teams and teams. There's no way to do that anymore. So I think Dr. Fate just being introduced like that was just nice. Just come in, show what you can do. Hawkman, what's there to explain? He's a dude. He's got money. He's got wings. He can fly. He's strong. That's all you need to know. I mean, let them flesh that out later if they were going to.
If they were going to.
Yeah.
Video Game Vulture, what are you talking about? What do you think about this, man?
I think it's a much needed reboot. Hopefully they take some advice from the fans, listen to the fans a little bit, and take the right approach. I mean, personally, I did like the last Batman. I did like the Justice League movie. I thought they were okay. Like maybe I'm just not like a huge critic of movies where I'll just like, break everything down. And I also don't know a great deal about like the history, so maybe some things go over my head.
You're in a good place, man.
Yeah.
You're in a good place because you don't have that baggage.
Right.
You can just kind of walk into a movie and just turn it off and not overanalyze and enjoy it.
Right. Yeah.
And that happens so often nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And also too, I think a lot of people it's so weird to see this. It's like people try to be this anti-comic book movie because it's popular. Like it's like one of the most popular genres of movies. And like what you were saying is like 6-7 years ago, but now, assuming the comic book movies. I'm like, and do you see the shit that we had a long time ago? I mean, really? Are you complaining about
10-year-old me, right? If we brought 10-year-old me into the future and sat him down and gave him here's 22 Marvel movies in a stack. Watch them. It would blow my mind.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Could you imagine?
Absolutely.
Could you imagine being 13 years old and walking into like Avengers Endgame?
That's a hard type waiting to happen, man. Like you can't do that to no child. Like what? Especially me. Like, cause I was a huge like Captain America and Iron Man fan back in the day. Like if 8-year-old me would have walked in and saw Tony Stark doing that snap, hey, look, just go ahead and snap me with him because I ain't doing anything else. I ain't watching any more movies, man. Like just take me with them. Take me with them, bro.
Man, that was hard too. Like how they split up Endgame. They don't do movies like that no more. You don't leave with the bad guys winning. It's like what? I mean, and you as an adult, you know what's coming, or you watched you read the comics and stuff, but still you're not really ready because you're not used to that. They left you like what's it like gear? You had like it was almost that like what Star Wars did long back in the day. It was that like that guller where like just took your heart out, and I saw people literally cry and like they like, oh, wait, what's going on? Like I'm looking like. Yeah, the bad guys won this time.
Peter wasn't the only one who didn't feel too good after that scene. I had to bear through that for an entire year just to see what happened, man.
I mean, there's not many cinematic moments that I can think of nowadays that evoke the emotional response of that one moment when you had Thor and Captain America and Iron Man fighting Thanos. And then they kind of all get beat back, and then Captain America picks up the hammer, and just like the crowd goes crazy, like, it answered a question that everyone wanted to know. And then that moment where he's just beat down, he straps the shield tighter, and all of a sudden you hear his comms come in, and like everyone coming in. I mean, that moment in the theater. I mean, there wasn't a moment that was that euphoric.
And thinking about it now, made my
you just know that moment when everyone just shows up.
When Cap picked up the hammer, I was done. I was losing it in the movie theater.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, he's worthy. He's worthy.
And it was the Avengers assemble. I was like,
goosebumps.
It was such a culmination of like everything we had watched up to that point. And that's what's tough, right? You've got all these movies after this moment now, and can Marvel keep it up? And so the critics have gotten harsher and harsher, and DC's coming in kind of like with all this new blood, all these younger watchers going, well, that's not like a DC movie. That's not like, and that's kind of where we have to draw the line and go, it doesn't have to be like a DC movie, but it should still be good. And let's be honest, some of the most recent DC movies have not been very good.
No,
I'll tell you one thing DC has on lock, and Marvel can't beat them in, is their animation.
They
got it on
about to say
lock.
that.
Animation.
They've always had a great animation studio.
Yeah,
Warner Bros. Animation Studio. Oh, just
can't touch them.
Can't touch them. They got a new they got a new movie just came out.
Oh, they got a few. So they've got Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. So that
that one. Yeah,
I found it on Instagram. I'm like, dang, I need to watch that one.
And they've got a
Superman Son and
a Batman one.
Yeah, that was really good too.
That was good.
They've got a Batman one that's coming out with this. It's coming out, I think, this month or whatever. With it's like a different universe Batman where he's kind of steampunky, but he's fighting monsters and magic.
Gotham by Gaslight by Gotham.
Well, they've already had that one, but it's a new one where he's kind of fighting. I'd have to look it up, but I mean, he's essentially, it's a whole new story within that like Gaslight style Batman. I can't remember what universe it is, but Earth 63 or whatever. If you're a DC fan, the multiverse aspect of DC has always been around. Like it's kind of a new thing for Marvel, even though it hasn't been, but for the media, like the multiverse is like a new thing, but it's DC has always dealt with multiverse. Like there's always been a crisis and like a reboot and crisis.
Also, no spoilers in the chat or you get blocked. Yet. Oh, also today we got Life of Tay, our favorite light-skinned Canadian. What's up, dude?
Hey, how you guys doing?
He up in the cold north of Canada. You got snowed in today. What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the show, brother.
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
It's good, man. We just started. You got anything to talk about? We just talked about the new Flash movie was coming out. How at first, you heard all the things we was talking about, but now everybody wants to see it. First the Flash was just a horrible human being. Now you're like, oh, I want to see it now.
Yeah, I think they should have honestly replaced him with the Flash that is on the Netflix series.
That's what people said. Like when they first saw him on screen,
he's great.
Yeah, he's the best.
The problem
Flash.
was, I think, for a long time, after he did all these things and got in trouble, everyone was like, well, they should replace him. They should replace him. But then once you saw the trailer, I was like, oh, there's like 2 of him in the movie.
Yeah,
like how much that would have cost. The amount of money invested by Warner Brothers at this point was so deep. And they really made that a cornerstone movie for them that there was no way that they could can that movie. It was just, it would have been way too much lost. So that said, they've done test viewings, and the rumor has it that it's bananas. Like it's so highly tested. Like this movie's a product of like running through marketing and running through like multiple test screenings. And the people that have seen it are saying it's absolutely one of the best things they've ever watched. So that's kind of a big deal for them.
Yeah.
And they can't shelve it. Like at this point, it's they got to run with it. They're not going to say anything bad, but I don't think Ezra Miller will be back.
What if at the end, because this is like the Flashpoint story, taking aspects of the Flashpoint storyline. What if they found a way to bring in the CW Flash and he be the main Flash? Because the Flash is ending now. This is last season.
Season 9. Yeah,
it should have ended like 2 seasons ago because it's already jumped the shark. Yeah. But what if they found a way just to make him the permanent Flash? Because he could
definitely do it.
They could easily tie it in. They did a crossover episode.
They did do a crossover episode. There was an episode with Ezra Miller and all that, because showing that multiverses, that the multi-universe aspect of the DC universe has always been around. So having Ezra Miller show up in an episode of The Flash, and then a perfect example is having things like the Crisis on Infinite Earth.
I've seen that.
Fantastic, series. And I mean, you got. I mean, they referenced Michael Keaton Batman. They referenced I mean, Christopher Reeve's Batman is technically the same. Christopher Reeve's Superman is the same one as Brandon Routh's Superman that was Superman Returns, because that's where he picked up. So I mean, if you wanted to kind of follow that, and he was in the show. I mean, you took all of these aspects from the DC universe, and that's exciting. I like that DC has just kind of gone, let's just bring it all in. We own all of these characters. Why are we afraid to mix and match? We can do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be good, man. Like, and then next up is like the Mario movie coming on. Oh goodness, y'all, that Mario movie. It gets better and better and better. Yeah. Like, what sold me now is that new Super Mario Brothers trailer where they use the 80s cartoon music.
The Mario Brothers theme song.
Oh, I was just like, okay. If I wasn't going to see it then, I'm going to see it. But I was already going to see it. But that right there, I was like,
that was great marketing. Did all y'all call the number?
I did. I called the number, got the text message and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh my goodness, it's so it hits me all in the field, because I was like, oh, it's so good. I was like, I forget how bad Chris
right in the wallet. Right in the wallet. Let's be honest here, folks. We are all here. Are we all over at least 30?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're all over 30, we are all getting hit in the wallet. That is 100% nostalgia, and it's what we want, right? Because we haven't had a Mario movie. I mean,
not a legit Mario.
Not a legit.
I remember the oldie ones though.
Yeah, but like we haven't had one. It's something I have made the argument on my show constantly that Disney and Shigeru Miyamoto is essentially a modern Disney, right? Like the character that is Mario is almost universally recognizable, just as much as Mickey Mouse.
And it's protected too.
And now that you've got a whole theme park, I mean, it was the final blow where it comes down to
Nintendo World. Hey,
segue, bro. But yeah, I mean, that's how it works. You've now got this universally known character that needed a franchise movie, and everyone was very skeptical about bringing it to Illumination. But I mean, if you take away what you think about the Minions and what you think about Despicable Me, the animation quality's always been top tier, always been great. And knowing that Disney was not going to make the same mistake that they made with the original live action, they were working together. Like, all of the art direction had to have gone through Nintendo and Shigeru and all of the producers and presidents and all of the people in charge at Nintendo before anything got greenlit. I was never worried about what Mario was going to look like or act like. Now, the Chris Pratt voice might be a different subject, but that said, all in all, it looks great.
That's growing on. It's growing on me though. It's growing on.
It is. Yeah. They even re-recorded, right? Like the newest news has been that if you in the newest TV spot, they've got the Wahoo sound where he does the skit out in the Mario Kart. They changed it, so they re-recorded it. So it sounds like people were like, "Chris, you can go a little more Wahoo with that." And sure enough, that's the one that they're playing. So
and I
pulled
see
the Sonic on that.
Good on them. Good on them.
Yeah.
I think everybody and like Jack Black is going I think he's going to steal the show.
He's going to kill it. Absolutely.
Because
he's super talented. Yeah.
I got the Browser Mario toy. I think it's up there, but it looked just like him. It looked
crazy.
Like
it's subtle changes that they made in the character. Like the eye, like the fold in the eye, whatever. Just the certain little changes when you look at Bowser, but then you look at Jack Black, and then look at the movie version of Bowser. You're like, there's definitely some Jack Black there. They do that. Like, you can see it. So
it's almost kind of like Whoopi Goldberg is one of the hyenas.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I can't unsee that. Yeah,
she looked just like one of the hyenas. They made her look just like. I said, "Come on, y'all." That was kind of like.
What did React Wizard say down here in chat?
What he said? Oh, he says Charles Martinet is on the cast. Yeah,
he is.
So I think Charles Martinet may be doing the Wahoo voice, maybe,
or he's. I mean, he does all sorts of voices, right? So he'll be background characters and whatnot. I mean, I get it. I understand the fans and voice actors and people are like, he should have gotten the role, but I don't know. It's one of those. It's
hard to do.
It's hard to do. I think
hard to please everybody.
It's hard to please everybody, and also like that star power brings in people that probably wouldn't have normally watched the movie. And then at the same time, yes, Charles Martinet has done voices for TV shows and all that, but I don't know if it's the same thing as coming in and doing a full-on live-action movie, being the full protagonist. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. He does. It's just, you know what I mean? Like,
part of the movie. So it's like, I think it's almost kind of like wrestling fans too. It's like video game wrestling fans, any kind of genre of fans that are so passionate about stuff like Star Wars or Kiss fans or wrestling fans, video game fans. We want something a certain way, and we don't see the business aspect of it. We don't like why they made this decision. But then when it's finished, you're like, oh, okay, I see why they made this decision.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't go good, but sometimes it does go right. And I think Nintendo is so meticulous of who they let in.
Yep.
Basically, even with their music on YouTube. That's why I was like, man, I hope they don't strike any of my music or something. You know,
and Nintendo ninjas always lurking, man.
They are.
They
do not play, and they are so they worse than Disney. Like, oh, this is our stuff, and and they will take your stuff down, which I understand because it keeps their characters pure. It you don't see,
but they didn't, right? Like that's the thing, that they made those mistakes early on. They gave their
they gave away to Nintendo.
I mean, they gave Mario license to all sorts of people back in the day, and we got all of those weird like PC versions of we got Hotel Mario on CDI.
Hotel Mario was
right. So like we saw all of that. We saw Zelda and Link on the CDI, and that's when their franchise was allowed to be used. We got Mario Teaches Typing, which has nostalgia to it, but it's not a very good game. No. And so at that point, after all of that, I think Nintendo went, no more. And I mean, the only time we've seen that recently has been Ubisoft, right? With the
Rabbids.
With the Rabbids game. But that was because the designer took so much love in doing it that they allowed it. Nintendo was like, all right, but we still have to like clear every use of the character in any way. Mm-hmm. And that's the way Nintendo's been for a while now. So it's a double-edged sword.
I feel like after they threw in the Mario Kart into the trailer, it sold me. I was like, I gotta go see it now. You know what I mean? I feel like it made it that much better.
Even like the subtle reference they had to like Smash Brothers when Donkey Kong and Mario was like on that platform, like stuff like that. It's marketing gold, man. Like they're definitely hitting the nail on the head when it comes to all the right nostalgic moments.
I mean, how many games do they have to pull from? They've got, how many Mario games are we at now? Like over 20 at least of the main line. Give or take
like around 20, 30.
Yeah, 20 to 30 games, not including the Mario parties and the karts and and everything else. There's so many games now that you can reference anything. I mean, they can pull from anything. They could pull. They could do a game dice that looks like the Mario Party. They can do the karts from Mario Kart. He can pull out any sports item and it would be like, oh, Mario Tennis, oh, Mario Strikers.
But no games are they subpar, but
they're there. Golf. He puts on a polo shirt and they'll be like, oh, he's wearing the Mario golf shirt.
Well, let's go to the next subject. We're talking about, and this is something I learned. Life will tell you, he may can talk to this, but tomorrow, as we filming this on a Tuesday, is the physical edition of Metroid Prime Remastered. Now, I know a lot of us on this chat, we have it on the Steam or we played it on Dolphin, but I haven't played it yet, but I've seen the reviews and I've seen how good it looks. But Tay, they got a little secret thing going on with it, man. Tell us about it, man. What's up with this Metroid Prime, man? You got it?
Yeah, I got it. I got the goodies. 1 second.
You got look. He said,
here we go.
Here we go. No,
he got
the whole room.
He got something to show off.
He got stuff to show
off, but
what are you guys talking about?
Oh, come on now, find it now.
Oh, I got it.
Look at him. He got to take all time.
Step away and grab all of it.
Oh, is that physical? Look at this. Look at this.
He got it early in Canada.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the cover. So this is actually the Japanese artwork. I feel like it looks way better. It's a reverse cover in here. So that was what ours would look like. But I feel like
it was way amazing, compared to the first one.
Yeah, I feel like the Japanese always get the better artwork covers. I don't know what you guys, but this game, it is amazing, you guys. If you played the original one, this one is so refined. I feel like this is how a remaster needs to be done.
Like, I'm excited. I have the digital and I've been playing with it, but I'm actually waiting for the physical, and I haven't had time to sit down and like put hours into it. But yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah,
it's amazing how the Switch can still push the graphics like that. Like you're looking at
what they're doing. Like
it's a 5-year-old system with a
6-year-old. 7-year-old system, isn't it?
Yeah,
7-year-old system.
Yeah, approaching 7 years. Yep.
Yeah,
you're right.
And
I thought it's 6 years. 6 years.
No, 7.
No, it's 7. Really? Came out in 2016.
17, I thought.
Man, you're making me feel. I'm like, has it been 7
years? I don't know if it's 16 or 17. I can't remember.
Definitely
17.
Yeah, it was 2017. It was the spring of 2017, March of 2017. I remember.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, so it was 2017. Right. It came out. So that's 3 + 2. So yeah, we're looking at 6 years. So it's a 6-year cycle, which is pretty deep. But we also have to talk about the fact that the chip that they use, the Tegra X1 in the Switch, was already 3 years old before that.
And Nintendo always does that.
Mm-hmm. So
they take their time, you know.
They take their time. So you're looking at a chip that's 9 years old, almost 10 years old. Hardware wise, that's pretty hard, man. Think about it. A video card that you might own that's that old, or a console that you own from 9 years ago doesn't push graphics like that. But here we have a remaster of a game released on hardware that's 9+ years old and looks amazing. And it's universally 10 out of 10, right? Like I can't imagine it not getting that.
Who's picking it up tomorrow?
Yeah, I already had a digital version.
What do you guys think about the price point too? The price point on it is amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. Hey, look. At least they didn't be stingy. Be like, yeah, y'all be paying $70 for this. So yeah, we gotta give a round of applause for Nintendo for that. So
the controversy of the Breath of the Wild being $70, right? And I was like, oh, $70. I'm like, oh no, that's cool. And then I realized I was like, I never pre-ordered anything, and I just realized that I pre-ordered that on a stupid window when it got put up on Amazon for the $59 price point.
That's good.
And I was like, "Yep, oh crap! Now I'm not canceling that. I'm gonna get a normal version." So
they'll honor that price.
Yeah, they'll honor the price. Amazon was pretty good about that.
That's a good thing too, because since I guess we're officially in the last year, want to say Nintendo's not going to say nothing on the Switch, but rumored all these new remasters or ports from the Wii U coming on or the GameCube and stuff. It's going to be, I guess, a last good year, of stuff, because they say they got 2 and 3 already done. They're just waiting to drop it. They had this one done last year, 2 years ago, and they just waited to drop it. So we got another thing talking about the Zelda 2-pack, the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, I think.
HD,
yeah, HD.
I gotta grab that too.
If it comes out, it comes out. But that's pretty good that Nintendo's doing that stuff. And all these remakes and remasters, I think it's a really good thing just to extend the Switch, because the Switch is on autopilot now. They don't really need to say need to do anything. And another thing, guys, make sure you pick up that physical copy, because I hear it's a one print thing. Everybody's selling out. So if you can get you 2 copies of it, just make sure you try to get a copy of it, because
scalpers are real.
Scalpers are real.
I already see it on eBay for $300+ and
stupid amount.
$100. Amazon's doing certain pre-orders that were, depending on when you pre-ordered it, your allotment may be delivered in March, because mine's got pushed back to March, I think 12th or 13th or something like that.
Mine did too. I'm trying to go to Walmart.
It's real out there. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm either gonna go to Walmart or GameStop, see if I can find it. Probably pick up 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then speaking of Nintendo, I know Video Game Vulture, he's one of the biggest Nintendo fans, and this is pretty cool. It's I love PlayStation, but they shot themselves in the foot. And Xbox say, you know what? Since y'all talking all this noise, we can go over to Nintendo and get them a 10-year deal for Call of Duty, which is funny. And I love play. Y'all know I love PlayStation, but it's they overplayed their hand. Video Game Voting, man, start this conversation. Now, what do you think about this new 10-year deal bringing Call of Duty to, I guess, the new Nintendo's whatever it's going to be? People want to say Switch, but I don't think it's going to be a Call of Duty this year. You know what? It could surprise, and they could shadow drop a Call of Duty, old Call of Duty or something. But what do you think about this, dude?
I think it was a good move, a good play by Microsoft. It was definitely shady.
That's an understatement, bro.
They definitely did it in a shady way to kind of spite PlayStation, but I'm not mad at it. I mean, I'm probably biased because I'm a Nintendo fan, but I feel like them doing that, they're tapping into a whole new market. We had Call of Duty Mobile, which is great, but to actually have something as strong as the Nintendo Switch to be able to play that mobily and kind of have a full version of the game, I think that's awesome. I think it's going to be a great look. So I'm excited for it, just to have that, out doing rounds or whatever, downtime, wherever you're at, you can just pull your Switch out and just, play. Especially if you got like pause. If you got mobile hotspot or whatever, Wi-Fi, wherever you at, what I'm saying? It's definitely a good look. So I'm excited for it.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, it was definitely real shady. I don't
agree.
It's like two of Nintendo and Microsoft. Nintendo is usually shady, but then Microsoft ain't known to be shady.
I mean, have you been following the news with the Activision Blizzard?
I follow it.
So like Sony's been blocking it, and
Sony's been blocking it
because they've been saying, it's been blocking exclusivity, but like. What's been dirty about that has been that Sony has been doing worse than this for years. Like years and years. Sony has been paying for exclusivity. They literally are exclusive with Square Enix, right? Like, we're getting new fun. Like just last week, they announced all of the Final Fantasies are coming to Xbox, and we're getting Kingdom Hearts. We're getting all these like things being ported over to the Xbox series soon, and they're coming to Game Pass. But I mean, Sony has been on the money hat game for years and years. And because of that, they've gotten this like following. And again, I'm a Sony fan. I mean, I've got PlayStation stuff. I'm an Xbox fan, but I think I've told Steve this multiple times, like PlayStation 3 Sony is back. Like that ego that we can do no wrong, that we will we can price anything we want and you will buy it because it is Sony. I mean, we will release a $200 controller that is no better than anyone else's and have it, it has a smaller battery, smaller battery than our normal one. We're going to release a headset, a headset that is not wireless and release it for $600. Like there's just like this whole, right. Like, there you go. Look at that. Pulling out that Edge. It's a fantastic controller, but like,
I'm tear dropping right now, man. It's a nice contraption, but they knew people like me was gonna get it. So
so that's what I'm saying. Like
they milk the hardcores. PlayStation does milk the hardcores.
They do. But it's also like they can't play the violin. Feel sorry for Sony not getting Call of Duty when they've been doing that for years and years. So like, stop like the console wars are silly to begin with, right?
Yeah,
that's my motto on my show. We stop bowing down to corporate companies. They don't need us. We give them money for the things that we want.
They don't care about us,
but they don't care about us.
They only care what's in your wallet.
Right. So Sony knows they're on top. They're on top.
Not to mention that until as of late, people, unless you're a hardcore Call of Duty fan like myself, you didn't notice. Sony got the release first for the longest time.
Yep.
I mean, they've been getting the drop first. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy.
They got Hogwarts first.
I mean, they got it first, as in like
physical.
They got the exclusive, they got the special edition and the controller and all of that. But then what was interesting is they didn't get the patch first. Like the patch, the patch to fix all that came out afterwards. The PlayStation 5 one was coming later date, is what they said.
And like they're even doing it with games like the Silent Hill 2 remake. They're getting that. Well, like a year or however.
9 month system exclusivity.
9 month system exclusivity. So like this is new to Sony. They've been doing this for years, and it's just picked up steam. It's just picked up a lot more steam in like the last couple of years because, like as Joe was saying, like they're definitely on there. I can do no wrong. If something costs $100, $200, $500, guess what? You motherfuckers gonna buy it. It don't matter, man, because like we can literally pull Nintendo and sell y'all cardboard for like $200. Y'all gonna buy it.
They'll do it, and they'll do it, and again, they're gonna do it.
They've done it.
No hate to Sony. Reality, any company can do this, but when you're on top, you can do whatever you want. And they've got. I mean, the fever of the Sony fanboy is kind of disgusting. Like the way that they like when you're on Twitter and you see a Sony fanboy on there. And again, like I said, I've got all the consoles. I spend my money equally. I'm an equal console opportunist when it comes down to.
There you go. I like
that. Wherever the game is, I go. But man, the like weird, like mental, like the moment Xbox Shadow dropped a Hi-Fi.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that.
The fans were like, like the Sony fans were angry. They were angry about a game. I'm like, it's a good game, guys. What's wrong with it? But they had to hate. Oh well, Tango's trash anyway, or they're copying the Devil May Cry, and just all of these like excuses, mental gymnastics to justify what? Like
I found it hilarious that when Hi-Fi Rush came out, it was getting such rave reviews. They were saying, "All right, it's getting like 90s and stuff like that." But let's see how it does, like commercially, like and sales wise. I bet Forspoken will beat it. Then I'm like, man, y'all just can't let people have good stuff. Like it's like if it ain't reviews, it's sales. It ain't sales, then it's reception. It's like I need y'all to make up your mind, man. It's like
I don't understand what happened. What happened with Nintendo? Because on the Wii U, they had some Call of Duty games, didn't they?
Well,
they did.
The Wii U didn't sell that well,
but they didn't sell well. Yeah.
It was a great look. Let me tell you, the Wii U is an underrated great system. It's going to be the Dreamcast of this generation. I really do think that. And you need to collect for it if you haven't started already. But my opinion is that a lot of third party people left because PlayStation 4 was just doing great, great, and the Xbox was still doing good, but developers wanted to go over there, and it wasn't worth it. You put like Tekken on the on the Wii U, it didn't sell that well like it did on PlayStation 3.
It was good though.
It was good.
But it was a good port.
The Tekken Tag 2 Wii U edition is good.
But it's the best.
Really
it's the best version. Like the best version of Need for Speed is on the Wii U.
People sleep on that Wii U.
I remember I bought that.
The Wii U, when I got it day one, I got my big pack and I had all my games because I was a big fan. And to this day, and I tell this story every time I have to bring up the Wii U. To this day, there is one game experience that I've never had with any other console. My buddy came over. We were like, new console, new game. Let's sit down. Let's play this. Play some couch co-op. And we popped in Zombie U. Now, Zombie U isn't like it's a pretty good game. But have any of you guys played the couch co-op on that game?
It's good.
I have.
So there's a mode called King of the Zombies. Okay, you pop it in, you play, and one person is on the TV, and they've got a kind of like a isometric, like a third-person view.
Oh, the gamepad, yeah.
And the gamepad version is like a top-down view, and the top-down view, you are the king of the monsters, and you are essentially dropping zombies and like dropping all the mobs and the traps and whatever else, and you on the TV are playing a different view. So it's that isometric gameplay that we never got. It's like multiplayer, but on the couch, like popping in Nintendo. What is it, Nintendo Land, and playing that Mario chase game or the Ghost
Luigi game,
the Luigi Ghost Mansion game. That isometric gameplay has not been replicated.
No,
like it hasn't been replicated.
Even Star Fox Assault is really good.
Yeah,
that's really always been Nintendo's cup of tea anyway. Couch co-op, like that's what they're known for. Especially like the N64. That was the only console at the time that had 4 ports that come with the console. Everybody else need a multi-tap or some weird thing like that. And some of the most nostalgic memories for me gaming was N64, just because it's like one of those things where. Yeah, the most popular thing was PlayStation, but it's like everybody that had an N64 was just like, dude, bring your controller over. We're gonna get popping for hours. You know what I'm saying? Like they just Nintendo's always stuck to their guns when it comes to that. And that's something that me personally I appreciate. And I think that the Wii U was just ahead of their time. Like they just weren't ready for it.
They weren't ready. We didn't have the tech. We didn't have like the tablet was too big still. We didn't have a way to have a good battery in it. It died real quickly. But honestly, if all of us in this room if you've played Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, it plays better on the Wii U. Like frame rate wise and everything, it plays better on the Wii U. The gyro use of the dungeons, just from 1 or 2 dungeons that was
really good.
That's pretty cool. Like that was awesome. The Switch version is great, but like I'm just saying there was still life in that Wii U.
I tell anybody, I shout it from the heavens. I'm telling you, get a Wii. What I need to collect, I say collect the Xbox, the original Xbox, and the Wii U. If you collect the original Xbox, and speaking, because people think I don't like Xbox, I love Xbox, the Xbox 360. It's just when they did that bullshit trying to that DRM issue, I'm like, you know what? I'm not checking
every 24 hours. Oh
yeah,
that turned me off 360.
So messed up. I'm like, I'm not messing with
it. That lasted all of like a day or two before they flipped that script.
2 weeks. And then
it was about 2
PlayStation came out.
Weeks.
This is how you play games, and
it was they announced it, but none of that was live, right? Like that's what's interesting. Is
no, it was live because it was doing that show, and then like
no. What I'm saying is the narrative they laid out, those rules they laid out, caused such havoc. But they laid out these this DRM like idea. But again, you have to really go back and watch that now and think about how that would play out now, because now we're running into where all these systems are going full digital. And we're having problems that type of system would have actually solved. A good example is, does your household have more than one Switch?
Yeah.
Can we talk about how horrible that system is? Because that is awful. The idea of I buy a digital copy, but I have to like make that my main system. But if someone turns it on the other one, it kicks you off. My kids have two Switch, like each have their own Switch. I can't buy one digital copy for them because it plays havoc. It's easier for me to just buy physical cards. I'll just buy 2 copies of the game and be done with it. Yep. Like that digital sharing needs to be fixed.
Yeah, that's on everybody.
On everybody. But if you talk about how Microsoft has been doing it, they've brought a lot of those things that they nixed back with Game Pass, and how you can set one system as a main one. And now my kids, like they've got an Xbox One X in their room, my old one, and it's logged into my account, but they can play all my Game Pass games.
And like that's one thing Game Pass did. I mean, Xbox did right. Is
that's
freaking Game Pass. Game Pass is, I think Game Pass is the Napster of video games.
Yeah.
I think it's such a disruptor. It's going to be a disruptor because it made everybody, well, except for PlayStation, because it's a disruptor, but PlayStation is still proving that you don't have to have a system like that, because, when it came out last week, it was talking about Phil Spencer. He was talking about, it probably cannibalized a lot of sales. And we knew this. It just waited for them to admit it, because, like, ain't nobody, especially during COVID, ain't nobody buy brand new games, physical games, and they haven't tried it out yet. We got burnt. We grew up where you look at the back, all we had was like, look at the back of the package. I would
pick it up.
I would never forget Solar freaking Jetman. I had my birthday money. I went to Kmart and I picked a Solar Jetman. I looked at the back and it was amazing. And I got home. It was the worst game I ever played. Solar Jetman. I said I would never.
But the things I find I'm more adventurous nowadays, though. Don't you guys feel like that? Because back in the day, you just pick it up. It came out, it was new. You brought it home. Now you rented it for a couple of days, and then you didn't like it. Oh, I wasted my money. You bring it back. But now that's what Game
Pass is so great about, right? Like, we're getting older, and $70 or $70, man. But being able to hop on and see, a new game dropped, a game that you might have never played. You might have never picked up.
You give it a shot.
You load it, you give it a shot. You're like, oh man, this dev is awesome. What else have they done? Sure enough, you're on Steam, or you're looking up the back catalog. You're looking at other game developers, and you're buying games.
You're buying games.
Yes, it's cannibalizing new games,
especially physical.
But at the same time, what it's also doing is introducing a lot of people to genres that they probably never would have picked up or played, which I think is refreshing, especially once you get older. And also, it's nice when you got kids, like they want a new game, they just turn on Game Pass and they're like, oh, new games dropped. And, that's the argument that Sony gives to Microsoft. They're like, oh, we don't got any games. But like, just because it's old doesn't mean it's not a game. Like, since when have we gotten so picky about a game? Also, how many 360 and Xbox One games got so much new life on the Series X and S. Like when you popped it in, you got better frame rate, you got instant 4K patches, you got developers coming in and going, ooh, this is selling again. And all of a sudden they're releasing new patches for games that have been done for 2 years. That's amazing. Like it feels good because it's almost like retro but modern. You know what I mean? Like being able to pop in a game from 3 years ago and all of a sudden it plays better on a new system.
I'll be honest. There's probably 30 games on Game Pass I would have never tried if I didn't have Game Pass. And I'd, spend the first 10 minutes on one. I think I beat one a couple of weeks ago. I've gone through so many games on Game Pass. And I'm like, damn, this is really awesome to be able to just go through and cycle through. I think someone in the chat said it's like your modern day rental store. It's like Blockbuster, a digital Blockbuster for it. So it's amazing to be able to do that, because I'm picky with my games. Because go back 10 plus years ago, money was a little bit tighter.
Mm-hmm.
I would say all of us now we're in a time of our lives where we're blessed to be able to afford multiple $70+ games, $300 special edition games, and all that. Look back a couple of years ago, it was like, man, I'm gonna drop $50 for this game. It better be good.
Steve, put up Kamikaze's comment up real quick.
Where's it now?
Kamikaze 1188. So this is an interesting topic, and we've talked about it on my show constantly. And this is interesting. I agree.
Yes,
they need to focus on their own IP. I think they let Halo really drop this.
Oh my God, they just
don't get me started.
But let's. I want to talk about this just for a quick second because I think this is interesting. This is good because I think Sony's gotten really strong with their IP, right? That their own exclusivity. But also, like, can we talk about how quick a lot of those games like fall off?
Yeah,
like,
look at Ratchet and Clank.
They came and went. Gone. Boom. We move on to the next one.
Returnal, stuff like that.
Returnal,
Horizon Forbidden West.
How many of those came out on PC?
Yeah, but hey, hold on. I will say about Horizon, they picked the wrong freaking month to release.
They did it with the first one too. The first one came out the same day.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
I guarantee they would not do that with Spider-Man.
No,
they didn't do it. And also too, even though Miles Morales is glorified DLC, but it's still a good 8 hour, 6 to 8 hour experience. They did drop it at the right time. It was a good game to I got the PS5, let me get this. It was good, so they smart with that. But poor Horizon, why did they do that to them?
And I was amazed they're actually going to the point of putting it on. I think it's gonna be like one of their new PlayStation Plus games that to download.
Because it's on PC now. So it's on PC. It's Returnal's on PC. Horizon Zero Dawn is on PC. We're getting the next one on PC soon. Sony's realizing, hey, there's a market there with Steam and making money being a Sony published game. But again, the idea that I think having exclusives costs company a lot of money. Not saying that Microsoft doesn't need to do that, they do, but I think they're playing by a different set of rules that we have to kind of understand. That Microsoft is now, they're almost a publisher, right? Like they're playing that they're a hardware maker, but they're also kind of like Sega in the sense that they're okay with their IP and their exclusive characters to play on other systems. Like I guarantee you, we are going to see Microsoft games on the Switch or the Nintendo soon. It's going to happen. We're going to see ports of 360 games or the Halo Master Chief Collection on the next Nintendo system. It's going to happen.
You think so?
Because,
I think too.
Because it's Microsoft is about getting the game how you want to play it on multiple systems. That's why Game Pass is such a money thing, because they're like, well, you buy the subscription and we're getting your money monthly.
But it's going up. It's going up. I feel like if you don't have Game Pass, you should take advantage of it now because take advantage while it lasts. Yeah, but it's going to pay that price. Yeah, you're going to pay the price, but because it has so much value in it. But I feel like
it got a lot of value.
The clock is ticking. It's going to go up pretty soon here. I have a feeling.
And they're going to make it so you're an ambassador and it might be cheaper but I mean they've already made it where you've got Game Pass Ultimate, and then if you've got a PC, you can pick up your game where you left off. If you've got a streaming device, you can play streaming and pick up your save right where you left off. That ecosystem is something that they're setting a foundation for. That is I get it. Physical is king, but you, Steve, all of us in here already know that modern physical games on disc really don't matter anymore. A lot of these games are so broken on the disc that you have to wait for either a Game of the Year edition or a second pressing or maybe a
definitive edition.
Definitive edition so that the game can be preserved. Because if you don't get that, then no matter what, you pop it in your console and it's going to run like crap. And you're going to have to patch it anyway and get online. So it's just give or take. I don't know where the line is anymore, but we're in a new age.
Knows it's a new normal.
It's a new normal, and Microsoft is not playing by the same playbook of release new console, release new hardware, get exclusive games.
And Nintendo's not doing it either. Everybody want a new system for Nintendo.
We're not doing
Nintendo not giving a new system. They're like, we're gonna wait. We're gonna give you small updates like the OLED, and then we'll give you different variations of the OLED, which are great because
I think 30 years to give you Bluetooth.
The Switch has got a library too big now, man. It's
3 years get Bluetooth.
the monster that is the Switch is so big and so vast that it would be ridiculously dumb to move on to a new system without that backwards compatibility. It's just not going to happen. I mean, from behind the scenes, rumor has it, whether you know or not, don't answer if you know this or not, but there is a new dev kit out there for developers. It is hush hush, but there is a new development.
I mean, Nintendo Ninjas. I mean, I haven't got to
it's out there, guys.
You better watch it. You watch your mouth over there before they shut this podcast down.
I mean, the nice part is you don't know what it is or what it does, and developers are super NDA on it. But the point is like we can't play dumb about it anymore, guys. Like there is a new hardware out there. They're not dumb. They're not going to waste their time. They know they need new hardware in that form factor. So we'll get a new lowercase new Switch. We'll get a Switch 2. We'll get a Switch OLED improved or whatever sub name they're going to add to it, and XL, Pro, whatever you want to call it. It's going to happen, and it's going to play the games that we're paying for right now better.
But you know what? We was talking about this a couple podcasts ago. The only people who are complaining about a new Switch are like people like us.
Yeah.
If you give like your children, or they don't care about
my kid don't care.
Switch, they don't care. They just
that Pokemon game was amazing.
Play the game, you know.
Oh my goodness. Yep.
And they don't even want physical. They really download it so they can run around with one thing. They don't want to switch games.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, my nephew, he got a Switch. He don't care about that. I bought him what game I bought him for Christmas? What was it? My Hero Academia 2. Loved the heck out of that game. And it was cheap, you know, but still, he didn't care about no new Switch. He got him a Switch Lite. He saw my OLED and he like, oh, that's cool, and ran off with his Switch Lite. I was like, that was it. He didn't care about he didn't ask me when the new Switch is coming out. No, they just want to play the games. It's
the kids is very
grown
physical is for the old heads. I believe that. They're piggybacking us the physical product in our hands. It's for
kids. Even now, I would say kids back then, but kids nowadays, like they don't understand like the value of stuff like that. So when you tell them like physical game, this and digital, I will tell you one thing: kids, they are definitely they living in the here and now. It's like, what can I get right now? Yeah, so instead of like going off to Walmart, Target, or Toys R Us.
Yeah, but I have a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old, and my kiddos like, they play new games. They have Game Pass and they play new games, and I've made sure my kids use carts for the Switch because again, the sharing and 2 kids is already hard. But that said, though, I mean, the amount of hours, if we were to look at a bar graph on their hours of gameplay. I mean, Minecraft and like Roblox and Fortnite and all those are just like they take up a big. I mean, that's what they play, and their gamification of things like Roblox, where they're just like they'd rather just spend currency and buy these like patches or games or mini games or whatever, or they'd rather spend $20 or buy skins in the new season pass. So that kind of gameplay, while us as old heads are like, oh, Fortnite, but I mean, honestly, like that's their game. It's not for us.
Fortnite booths at PAX.
Yeah,
I've
seen those.
I mean, I'll be at PAX East in a month. So like,
those booths be huge. Fortnite and they just they're bigger than Nintendo's booths.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what is? I mean, it's like, what is this world? I'm like, Fortnite booth is like a football field.
I was at PAX East in 20. Like I've been there. I go every year, but in 2014 or so was the big League of Legends year. They were so big they had 2 ginormous booths. I mean, if you've seen the size of like big conference booths, they had 2 of them, and that entire thing was like Riot employees. Back in like it was crazy because League of Legends was the big deal, like that style of gameplay. I mean, League isn't as big anymore. I mean, it's huge still, but it's not as big anymore. But that style of gameplay has been set as like that constant patch, update, content. Games as a service is still a thing. That said, though, we've seen how some of them have been shutting down, right? Like we saw, what's the fighting one, the Knockout City. Knockout City
and Rumbleverse,
all those are gone now because there's too many of them out there, and people like my kids aren't going to spend their money on multiple. They jump on one and they're going to stick to one. Yep. It's very rare for another games as a service to come out and to like take the audience from one, right? So like I don't think we're gonna see a Fortnite killer anytime soon, because the devs are actively still working on it. I mean, they make new versions of gameplay, vehicles.
It's actually a smart move, though. I feel like, some of the franchises that come out yearly should follow suit with that.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, NBA 2K,
Madden.
those things need to follow suit, because
absolutely.
to me, people thought Fortnite was trash. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was one, but I got 4 kids, so I'm watching them, and like that's their kind of go-to game.
You wanted to pick it up when that Goku skin and all those skins.
Come on,
I tried it.
So much money on skins, not just for me, but I did when Travis Scott came out with his skin and like he had a live show. Like them doing that, that's very innovative. Like they are really like setting a trend with that. And I honestly feel like those games that come out on a yearly basis should follow that. Instead of spending more money producing physical copies and coming out with a new game, money patching it every year,
and they keep those devs working, right? Like that's what's great. If you've got friends that are developers, I mean, you see them, they work on the next big game, and then the studio has to trim them, and then they move on to another studio because the studio doesn't keep them. And people like Epic have been keeping these developers on board because they're constantly producing the next season, the next crossover. What kind of mode are we going to do? What, we're turning off building? Okay, we turn off building. Oh my God. Like all of these little things that they do, and they make it a big deal. And then kids jump on and play. And they play and they consume, and they want skins and patches and season passes and whatever else. And that's smart. Mario Kart. Mario Kart is a game that's still like Mario Kart. What is it? 9? How long has it been out? And Nintendo is technically
Mario Kart
since 2014.
Since
they changed it up.
Yeah. So like that, Nintendo went, let's take one of our games and really extend it with DLC for many years. And that's the game, right? Like we're still getting new content coming out soon, new tracks.
They want that Mario Kart to be the best-selling game of all time.
If Nintendo chose one game, it should have been Smash Brothers, and it should have been Mario Kart. Those two franchises right there could continue to just like live with developers constantly being the Smash Brothers team. Maybe not new characters, new stages, maybe occasionally a crossover character or a new skin or a shadow character. That way they don't have to change all the mechanics and whatnot. But Mario Kart, same way. New characters. Quit making it Mario Kart. We already have Link in it. Let's bring more. Bring in some Animal Crossing.
Kart now.
Yeah. Let's be honest. That's what we want next, right? Like, why should the next one be Mario Kart? It should just be Nintendo Kart. And
I guess because of that franchise, because when I went to the Super Nintendo world, it was the Mario Kart Challenge, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. So they're not going away from that money-making name,
No.
Right.
I mean, I know what you mean.
Mario,
but like
the cash cow.
Cash cow.
Oh yeah,
it has too much of a global brand recognition in order to probably call someone else.
Well, if he wasn't around, who do you think would be the face of Nintendo? You think it would be Link? Would it be Pikachu? Who would it be? Like,
well,
it would definitely probably be Pokemon.
Probably one of Pokemon.
If we think Mario is more iconic than Pikachu?
And like Link is popular, but we're talking about like on a national scale. Like Mario is like synonymous to he's the
Mickey Mouse.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Like Mario, like people know Mario if they don't know anything else about Nintendo. Yeah. So the next most popular thing would be Pokemon.
Kids are 2-3 years old. Like, and there's 3 things that you can show them. You can show them the logo for McDonald's, and they'll know it. You can show them the Mickey Mouse ears, and they'll know it. And you can show them Mario, and they'll know it. Those are 3 iconic characters that it's almost like they're born and they know. They don't even have to be introduced. Somehow or another, they already know that character. And
I don't know, man. I play Mario all the time. My little one. If I tell her come to me right now and say Mario and Pikachu's gonna be like,
well, I mean, Pikachu. Right. So like there's definitely you can always focus it, right? Like if you show them Pikachu stuff because it's cute and whatnot, they'll like it. But Mario is so iconic for the brand that Nintendo is. I mean, the red cap, the M, the blue overalls, they're so iconic that if you don't recognize it, you're gonna recognize it eventually, and there's no way around it.
I'm telling you, maybe it's that finger recognition. Like that's what's that? One of those days. So
maybe that's a generational question to ask, right?
That probably is a generational.
I mean, because if you ask us, we're definitely going to say Mario, but you look over the last 15 years and how the landscape has changed. I mean, look at Pokemon. Ash he just won.
Yeah.
He just won the whole
The world
tournament, and everybody was
championship.
crying in
Finally.
tears and all that stuff. I'm like, dang, shouldn't he be like 45 years old now? Like, oh my god,
Ash Ketchum is the immortal 10-year-old, man.
yeah, he's the immortal. Like, I'm like, I need to know your serum, bro, because you are not aging. If Pikachu hasn't grown, he hasn't evolved, he hasn't done anything. You know,
he hasn't evolved.
He's evolved naturally and all that stuff. So
But
it's
you know what? It's funny y'all bring Pokemon back up. Maybe think from a collector standpoint, because I was a part of, probably all of us, we're kind of close in age, so we were part of like the original Pokemon phenomenon. Like, I was in like 7th grade when Pokemon came out. All of a sudden, everybody's going back and buying Game Boys. Like, that was like late in the life cycle, right? And now I look back, like I really haven't been into Pokemon since then, right? But I'm looking at the Game Boy Advance copies, the DS copies, and how expensive they are. We should definitely be buying Pokemon games for the Nintendo Switch right now.
Oh yeah,
I would definitely say that.
For sure.
And that's something I'm going to focus my attention on.
Oh yeah,
as collectors, buy the physical copies of those.
Have you seen the Pokeball controller?
Yeah, the controller
going up.
Them shit's expensive now.
It's funny you say that.
They were on clearance at Target when I bought mine.
Yeah.
They were sitting on the end cap. They were sitting there, and no one wanted them because they only technically worked with. I mean, they work with all games. Right? They're just a one-handed controller, but they only worked with that. What is it? Hey you Pikachu. Hey you Eevee. Or I choose you Eevee. I choose you Pikachu.
Did you guys see these ones at GameStop? They had it for the little Pokeball here. They had this little
the stand.
It was like $1 or something. But it's kind of cool. You put it on and go ding, 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 like that Pokemon Center. And these were on sale. These are going for $1 and $5.
Those stands are hard to find now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
If I see one in a convention, I'm picking one up because
they're cool.
Hard to find.
It's cool just sitting on your thing if you don't want to use it for a controller. I tried to play the Pokemon Let's Go with the little ball in the hand. It was kind of weird. I did it for a little bit.
Because you do it and then you have to throw. You have to act like you throw it to kind of.
I like it. I actually like that controller. Yeah. It just drains really quick by a little bit. I think it's because also too, if you store your Pokemon, you can take it with you, so you can shake it up. You can hear like a little Pokemon crying. It's like, oh, this
levels them up. They go, it was. I think it was very.
It also tied into Pokemon Go, right? Because you could sync it with Bluetooth onto your phone, and you could use it as move your Pokemon into it, and also level up you get candy on it, which I thought was really cool.
It was very innovative. I feel like Let's Go. Other than like the new catching mechanism, I thought it was one of the better Pokemons. I was very happy with Let's Go. I don't know.
People still play Go. I mean, I've still got friends. I'm still in a chat with some friends that every other day they're like, "Hey, new event coming up on Go," and I'm like, "Man, I can't believe you guys still play this." And because they do, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Go was crazy.
It was crazy.
That Go was crazy. People were walking into
oncoming traffic and stuff.
I play this game.
Like people being robbed on live stream.
I had a blast.
I remember.
I spent some money on that. I ain't gonna lie.
I had an old job I was working at. I had an old job I was working at, and I thought this couple comes in and they're like, "Hey, did you know that you have Charizard here?" And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like where's Charizard at? I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, he's back here. I was like, well, he's in my break room, so I can't allow you to come back here. I was like, I'm sorry, but this is a restricted area. You can't be back here. Oh, the gym we need it. We need it to get our badges. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's a phenomenon, but it was fun. I was in Houston when that came out, and I remember the big weekend, and there was just this like swarm of everyone showing up to Herman Park in Houston, and it was just this one. It's like 1,000 people just like running around. We're all catching in. They drop like big legendaries or whatnot. A Snorlax would drop, and I was like, oh, and it was like running over. There's a Snorlax over here. I'm sitting there with my sister. She's my younger sister, and I was like, this is crazy. I can't even imagine. Again, back to my 10-year-old me, 12-year-old me would have freaked out knowing that all of these people are here. And we're all like
and doing battles and stuff.
A peaceful battles wouldn't even there yet. We were all like joining in to do the raids and like fighting. And
it was like Pokemon battles in real life.
Yeah, it was cool because it was a peaceful moment.
It brought a lot of people together, right?
It did. It was like this moment of like euphoria of like, hey, is this what world peace looks like? We're all just together playing a game.
Much, yeah. Pretty good.
Like all different type of cultures. I remember I go to the park and you see Asian, Chinese, white, black, Indian,
and then all the age range, right? because it was
Young,
parents
old.
and grandparents playing with their kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
And
Dragon
that
Force
was
over there, let's
cool.
go, and everybody's running. It was crazy, man. It was a
Didn't,
cool moment.
Yeah.
Cool
Nintendo
moment.
stock price increase too?
It
Something
did.
crazy
yeah.
like that.
Big time.
It just blew
but
up
like
for
over,
like a
but,
week.
but like over like 200 and something percent. It was crazy.
Now remember, you were saying how Pokemon could be the face of Nintendo, but we have to remember, Pokemon is not 100% owned by Nintendo.
No,
True.
no, it's
That's
like
true.
it's a split three ways, right? Nintendo, the Pokemon Company, and
Game Freaks.
Game
Game
Freak.
Freak.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
it's game. Yeah,
but Nintendo owns one of those two. So Nintendo owns one of those two, but they are technically a separate company, so they don't. I mean, so Nintendo owns 2/3 of Pokemon per se,
yeah.
but the
So
other
they own-
part is still Game Freaks, right? I think Pokemon Company is owned by them, but Game Freaks is not. So like again, there's like a weird split. But the point is like Nintendo uses Pokemon a lot, but remember, Game Freak still makes games for other companies. Like I think they made what's the other one? The Yokai. They made the Yokai
Yokai
series.
Watch.
Yeah, the Wokai what? Yeah.
Yokai's got games that
Well, I
are
think
on other
Yokai is level
systems.
5. Yokai is level 5.
I have it here. One second.
One of those games, one of these like other.
I've been collecting like Yokai because no, it's
level 5.
No,
Level
okay.
5, they put everything into Yokai on a 3DS, and it kind of failed. But
Yeah,
if you play Yokai
It's
and
good.
watch Yokai, it's really good. It's more adult oriented. But it's the Pokemon wouldn't do on
Yeah.
there. It's like they have this like Yokai that walks around and make people fart.
yeah.
And it's still like that. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, level 5. That's why level 5 kind of almost went under, but now they're trying to come back with that new game that goes.
Well, they didn't hit off in the U.S. and they released 4? I think there's like part
no,
of 4.
no, level 5 released like 10 to 15 games.
I know, but what I'm
Especially
saying is
3DS.
Yokai. We only got up to like 2 or 3
No, we
here in
got
the U.S.
5 Yokai Watch games. We got 1, 2,
Really?
3. Then red and blue, like a fleshy. No, it was a spinoff. So we got 5.
Yeah,
games.
but I think that from the main line, we only got the first 3 on the 3DS, and then everything
No,
else
it's 6
after
games. Actually, like 6 games. Like 6
there's a
games.
few
I
that
got
came
them
out
all.
on the Switch that didn't come out in the US. You can pop it into Switch and it'll play, but we didn't get there were no US ports for them. Like I know that there's a few of them.
In the US, level 5 and Yokai stayed on the 3DS.
Yeah, there we go. So there was no Switch version of Yokai, and I think they did like a remaster on the Switch,
No remaster.
like part 1 and 2. I think they did like a
I don't
re-release,
think-
right?
It might no remaster. Not here in the
No,
US.
not here in the
Switch.
US. That's what I'm saying. In Japan.
Maybe I don't know about Japan, but I just know because reason why I know really because I'm going there for a full 3DS system or full 3DS set, and the Yokai games, especially when they get out to 2, 3, and those spin-off games are expensive.
Yeah. So Yokai Watch 1 got a remaster on the Switch.
Was 1 even good? I thought 2 was the best. That's what I heard anyway.
Well, let's move to the next subject real quick. We're talking about this really good. All right, so this section, guys, we love this section. I know Tay is going to love this one because it's called our show off. And the show off we like to do, we pick up something during the week or even a month long time ago, and we want to show you guys, should you pick this up or just want to brag about, hey, I got something really cool. So who wants to start out? Who's ready to go? Tay, you ready to go?
Yeah, I guess I'm ready to go. I got some cool.
He already now.
I guess I'm ready.
If you have not been joining us, Life of Tay. He loves the finer things in life. He loves the most expensive things. So let's see if he gonna have something super expensive. Yeah, the most expensive things in life. Everybody raise the cups up for Tay. You know, like
Pinkies in the air, everybody. Pinkies in the air.
What are you guys talking about? It will actually lead on to our conversation about Game Freak. So I actually got at a pawn shop, I found Drill Dozer. So this was one of the games that Game Freak actually make as well, right? So this is one I was picking up this week. And then I'm going for the GameCube set and North American set, and I picked up Metabots. You guys watch Metabots growing up?
Nope. It was past my time, man, but I remember.
Past the time?
That was that weird Saturday morning cartoon block or something.
Yeah.
It was like Fox or something like that. I remember.
I grew up. It was like at the end of the age I used to be watching cartoons, but I remember Metabots, and it's more of a rare piece to find on the GameCube nowadays. And I was actually popped in Drill Dozer. I was wondering why these cards are so big, and when you're playing, I throw it in the analog pocket, and the vibration. That's why they make the cards like this, right? The vibration on the back of the rumble. So it's actually a pretty good game. low key. You guys gotta check it out.
Does that one have gyro?
Yeah, it does on the back of it. Yeah, it's built in.
Yeah, I bought there's a guy on, I would have to look at him. He made an adapter for the analog pocket to kind of extend the cart higher so that carts like that could sit higher up.
Oh yeah, because let's see how it looks like.
How does it look on that one? Because that one might fit. Yeah, see that one fits. There's another one.
That's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, which is the ones with the sun? You needed the sunlight to.
Those
are rare too.
It's not Golden Sun. It was like what's it called?
There's
the
two of
Wario
them.
one game is the Wario Shake It one is pretty.
Yeah,
good.
so there's that one, but there's also one. There's a one where it's chronologically. You have to go outside and play it. It's got like an actual light meter on it.
Yes, that's Golden Sun. Yeah, the Golden Sun games that did that.
Is it?
No.
No, Golden Sun did that.
What's it called? Golden Sun? I know Golden Sun is an JRPG or whatever that was super fun, but what was it?
It's the Boktai games.
Oh, those Boktai.
The Boktai, the sun in your hand. So they're Konami games.
Bakage.
Oh.
And those games are popular, and they've got if you look at the cart, it's a clear
they need the
cart.
sun, right? Or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's part 1 and 2, and it's a solar sensor on the top of the cart. And so there's parts of the game where you actually have to go outside and charge it. So the strength of the sun determines how well the sun can be used in the game, and the strength of the rays of the sunlight are shown as a solar gauge. So those are specific games that you have to play physically. So you can't even play on a flash cart because they don't have that like sensor, and they've gotten rare because they're a smaller print, and Konami doesn't.
This is what it looks like. This is what you're talking about. These cards right here, right? I just found.
Yeah, there you go. So so it's in. They've got the back is thicker, so you can't put it in the analog pocket. So for you, and it also needs to face forward because you're playing and the sensor's on the top. So you would have to flip the whole system to get the sensor to
get
work.
the sun going.
So you put it in there and then it flips it and puts it higher. But yeah, so I think that's cool that there's companies out there doing that. But those two carts, if you were looking for anything, those I think are pretty rare. Because they've got specialty hardware. You can't play them any other way.
Well, cool. Now we're going to our newest I gotta say member, but our next guest, Retro NES or Retro Neo NES. I was in NES. The Neo mean Neo Geo.
Yeah.
It means him and Tay should be good friends because that Neo Geo got all of my neck.
I'm not balling, I promise. I was gonna show a Neo Geo game, but I've had it for a while. I'm not. I actually showed this on my channel, so I got this bad boy. Hold on.
Oh boy, what is this?
Wow.
Oh, that's the Gallahorn, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's a Nerf one?
Yeah.
I didn't know they made a Nerf one. I know they made a replica one, but I didn't know they made a Nerf one. Okay.
You had to play the game, right? I have maybe 200 plus hours in Destiny 2, so no shame in my game. I play a lot of Destiny 2. But
you had wait about it. Look on your face when you said you had 200 hours, which is sad.
I know. I was so there's probably 3 games that I have 200 plus hours in. Halo Reach, Halo 3 probably pretty close. Destiny 1, Destiny 2, a couple of some other games that I probably won't even list here, but this bad boy here, you had to play the game to a certain extent. Bungie gives you a code within the game to be able to go on their website and actually pre-order this. It's the only way you can get it.
Wow.
Unless somebody puts it online. So it's
awesome.
I haven't even shot the thing. I just unboxed it, opened it. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's huge. I don't have a place for it in my game room. I'm like, what am I going to do with this big old box? I have no idea. But yeah, it's pretty dope.
Awesome.
Neo Ness, was I talking to you this week? I think, right? You had on the I think I was watching one of your videos and you have 2 of those Dragon Ball Z PS1 games, right?
Yeah.
I was like, his voice is so familiar. I'm like, I think I just watched your game room tour this week. I just watched his tour this week and I was talking to you. Oh yeah.
I was watching it too. I remember from the Neo Geo. I'm like, oh, it's the Neo Geo guy.
Yeah. I'm just speaking with him this week about those Dragon Ball games. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was
what is it? Battle 22.
Nice to meet you.
No, it was Final Bout.
Final
GT
Bout.
Final Bout.
GT.
Yeah.
I remember that game. Yes, sir.
That blue cover is worth some.
Yeah, he has two of them too.
Yeah. So the first one I had was back when I was in high school, or actually no, when I was in elementary school. When I got that, my mom bought it for me, and then when I got to high school, one of my buddies was like, "Oh man, you got a Dragon Ball game and it's in English?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey man, let me borrow that. I was like, "Yeah, bro, it's all good." Man, I get the game back, and he lost the manual, like completely lost the manual. And mind you, it's like the first print. Was like they said there was like 10,000 copies made in English. I don't know if that's true or not. It took me forever to find a second one, so I still have the one my mom bought me without the manual, and I had to buy another one to get it complete. So that's kind of how I did.
That's it was one of those expensive back then games too.
Oh my god!
It came out like there was no market for Dragon Ball when Dragon Ball GT Final Bout came out. Like that was
that stuff was horrible voice acting too.
Well, besides the fact that it was GT, it was the idea that like it was a game based on a franchise that had no foothold in the US yet. Like no one knew what it was. No one would watch it.
It was like an underground thing.
Oh, I was watching it.
If you're Latino or anything like that, I mean, I had family. I would go to Mexico and be like, "What is this?" And be like, "Oh, watch Dragon Ball." And I remember I'd come back home, back to the States, and when it was just kicking off, I'm like, "Oh yeah, look!" And I brought back like 3 videotapes of like an EP, right, and like with like 9 hours of Dragon Ball, like back to back, all in Spanish, and it was episodes that weren't even close to being released in the U.S.
Oh no,
yeah, like all fighting Majin Buu, and I'm like, who is this guy? I don't even understand.
Hey, speaking of that though, I remember back in the day buying Dragon Ball on VCD.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
VCD.
You'd walk into like little import shops or whatever.
Suncoast.
I gotta get my Dragon Ball fix, and it was like what 480p or so, even
not
worse,
even
something
like
that.
It was like
you had to watch it on the computer and stuff. But I was like,
do you guys remember these old Dragon Balls? You used to watch them on the Game Boy.
He pulled out the Game Boy videos. That's great.
Game Boy video was going hard back in the day, though.
Yeah,
that 15 frames a second.
I was like, what? And then the Game Boy was so like it had backlit, but you had to like getting the light. Oh, that's so good.
Those came out before the SP came out, so you had no backlight. Like you're watching episodes of SpongeBob on.
And they had SpongeBob, Dragon Ball,
Shrek.
There was a Sonic X one. I know I had that. There was a Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah,
a couple episodes of Pokemon I think on there as well.
Oh yeah, a couple episodes of that too.
So Mega, you want to go next, man? What?
Oh yeah, I can go next. And I was talking about a little bit in the group chat earlier today, but I was able to secure this little bad boy right here. It's a little rare game on the Saturn.
Oh, I see.
Got that right there.
Oh,
show that. Hold on, let me. There we go. Y'all can see that.
That game is so good.
It's just beautiful, and it was completely immaculate too, and had the original manual and everything. It actually even came with, because I don't know if you guys remember, but a lot of the Sega Saturn games in the US came with this foam insert. It came with that too, so it's just as it was when it first came out. But complete. I was complete plastic insert or foam insert and all. But yeah, like the story behind this, there was a game store that I just found out about 2 weeks ago. Right?
Don't get the name out.
Say what now?
Don't give the name out. Keep it.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that one kind of hidden for me to the time being. At least he coming out here, I might show him. But yeah, I went there and then they was pricing out games, right? And I saw this on the back shelf. I was like, oh, dope. I was actually looking for that one. And then the lady pulled it down and said, oh yeah, we just priced it and it came out to you. I don't know if y'all can see that price right there, $29.99.
Wow.
I was like,
what?
I know that ain't right. You sure that's the real price? And she said, yeah, we just priced. Like, yeah, my husband just took it out price this morning. Everything's good. You can purchase it now. I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and take that now. So
what is the price on that right now? Someone pull out the price charter. What's the price charter?
I am on price charting. Let's see.
How much do you take them for? Don't give the name out of the store. Then you don't need.
Oh, absolutely not. I have to find this gym too. Y'all gonna have to pry this out of my cold dead body. Shoot.
You gotta keep the good stuff to yourself sometimes until you get what you need from them. You know.
Yeah, you do. What's the price charting on it?
I'm looking at it right now. Price charting. It is sitting at it's Pokemon. Let's see.
It's sitting at 100. Oh no, my price is Canadian. I'm sorry.
Here we go. See, price charting loose $50.35. Let's see, complete in box. 75.12. New 157. So it looked like it may have went down some in like the past couple of months or so.
It definitely has. That's first off, that's not a high print game. Like that wasn't I don't remember seeing anybody like that was never in the stack of like Frank Thomas games
Right.
and you know all the other Saturn, you know, trial games that you would see stacked in corners that no one wanted. So I don't remember seeing that one often. So that's a good pickup.
That's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What about a stall is that it was the only Sega Saturn game that did not have a name on the spine. Never had a name on the spine.
Yep.
It's empty.
Wow.
That's on the right side, and this is the left side. Because I was tripping. I was like, wait a minute. Is this fake? And then I looked at my line. I was like, oh, no. Okay. It looks like when they initially shipped it off, this is the only Saturn game that doesn't have a name on the spine.
Only
That's
Saturn
kind of
name.
cool. It's like a variant exclusive.
Yep.
Kind of very kind of exclusive. Well, Joe, we're going to what you want to show off, man?
Oh man, I mean, like I haven't picked up anything new in a while. Most of my money lately has been going into like my hobbies, you know, like
right.
Talk about your arcades, man. What you got back there?
Geez, right now, like running. So I've got my Astro City, right? So like
you made me get one.
You got a blast.
Get one.
I got a blast, and I've got I got Super Puzzle Fighter 2 running on it right now. And then this is my Vulix, and this is the one that I've been like really kind of dumping my time into recently, right? So I've got Marvel's Capcom 2 running on that.
Sweet.
And been doing modifications on it because, I mean, if you're familiar with this machine, it comes in certain colors, and I've been kind of wanting to go against the grain and change it. So I've been doing custom work on it. So I got all that purple. So the everything's been purple. All the buttons are.
Oh, the
Sanwas have been changed to purple as well. I
like that.
Got the metallic top. I've got there's two guys here in the world right now that make reproduction custom control panels. One guy out of Taiwan, and Alberto is his name if you're familiar with him on the forums and whatever. And there's another guy from Brazil. So again, and not in the US. So I commissioned the guy from Brazil to make me one. So he's making me a new panel here that'll be black and purple as well to kind of go with the Vulix with logo and all of that, but in a custom color. Just getting the machine ready. Kind of the color scheme I'm going for Street Fighter 6 is going to be purple. So it'll have a Street Fighter 6 marquee with the graffiti. I'm trying to get a light up Capcom sign. I've seen someone sell it. They've got the graffiti Capcom logo. The one from the trailer from the original teaser.
Like 100
Yeah. So they've got somebody that makes a light up sign of it. So I want to get a big one and put it right above the cab over here. Where
did you say the other guy was? You said Brazil and where?
So Brazil and Taiwan.
Oh, Taiwan. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So if you look online and you type in like control panel or like where can I get a control panel, there's going to be two names thrown out there. Raphael's his name, and Alberto. And those two guys are the only two. And Alberto is known for. He makes Vulix ones, but he also is one that makes reproduction panels for Blast City, Astro City, any of the Net Cities, any of the custom control panels that you want for any of the, different variants of the Sega cabinets and whatever else. And he'll make all the custom ones. So yeah, I mean, this is already kind of its own money sink to begin with, right? But it's also like I walk in my room, I get to like sit down and play. Any other arcade games that I want. It's a
cool setup, man.
Appreciate it.
Cool. That's really dope. Yeah. I love it. All
right, who want to go next? Video game vulture. You want to go next? We're gonna get you on. What's up, man? Show off, man.
All right. I got a couple things.
Look at he licking his chow. He got something tight out there.
So if you guys follow me on social media, if you're not, you definitely should. What are you waiting on? At Video Game Voter on everything. I got bored Sunday. I did like a shift in my part-time, and I was like, I'm bored. I'm going to drive to East Starland. It's like an hour away, so I was like, fine. So it's a game I've been eyeing for a while. I actually took some trades down there, and that'll be coming up in this episode soon. And I picked this up, Klonoa Fantasy. It's a
nice
series, Reverie series.
Ooh, yeah, the remaster.
I just picked it up. I was actually playing that on the Switch.
You should have got it when we went up there, though.
We talked about that.
Yep, we did.
You know why? I was waiting on my trade credit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I decided when I said I was going back down there, I said I'm definitely getting that. So that was one thing. And then the time before that when I went back. I went to East Stardom like 3 times this month, or in the past 30
You
days.
did. You got so much good credit.
Yes. Well, sort of. We'll get into that. But this next thing I've been eyeballing for a minute, and I just kind of was dragging my feet on it. I wish I got it when I seen it initially because it went up in price. Got this Mega Man Deluxe figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was definitely waiting to get this. This was
He's right
part
up there on top of the Astro.
I know Mega loves that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I
But
was
this
looking
was
for
part
that.
of that trade, Mr. Wright Way.
Yeah.
This in a particular game, which we'll get into at some point. But yeah, I'm super excited to have this.
That's one of the best Mega Man figures they kind of released in a while.
Yeah, he's right there.
Yeah, I saw that. I started to mention that.
Yeah, he's right there. And
Oh, you got it?
He got it
gotta
too.
rep the Mega Man. I
I'll
love
say
Mega Man.
the only one I got right now is this figure that I got sitting right up here on my PC. So
I got my what's it called? The cable guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
the cable.
Nice.
He's holding my
Yeah.
controller.
Oh, yeah.
He sits on the dresser, just holds my controller. You know.
I got one of the
Nice.
one of the special edition ones that came with the game. I can't remember which one. The pack-in, the one that he's standing like this with the gun, and then he comes with the E-tank. And when you touch, you hold Mega Man, you put him next to it by magnets. They touch, and he'll light up.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's.
I can't remember which special edition. I think it's
It's-
Mega Man
it's-
11 or one of them for Sony or whatever.
It's a statue. It's a statue, or
It's like a
some type of-
statue. It's like a big statue about this big, and it's got an E-tank, and then you plug in the charger cord on the E-tank. But to get Mega Man to light up, he has to touch the E-tank in a specific spot because they got it kind of.
I would say I don't have the one with the E-tank, but I have this one. This is the one to where you put on.
Oh, yeah,
you put on
that's-
the
Yeah, so
one.
it's. I think it's
And
that
you
same
I have that
design.
one. I have the blue one.
Yeah, but I've got the blue one, and the blue one comes with the E-tank, and the way he lights up there is because he touches that base. I think, right?
It's actually 3 different versions of this.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, it's this one. I have the blue one, and then the one you're talking about. This one, and the blue one are the first releases because you touch it right there, them little lights will light up.
And then depending on where you like place them on this, and you swivel it, the lights in the ears, and then the Mega Buster will light up too. And
Yeah,
inside
because
of it.
it's got like a magnet on the bottom. It's
Right.
got like a sensor, so it makes it light up. And that's how the blue Mega Man I've got has one on its foot, and the E-tank has to be positioned.
That's
a
the
very
third.
specific
That's
way.
the third edition that came out.
I remember that one. I forgot that one released.
Yeah,
I forgot that one was a thing.
I'm a sucker for Mega Man stuff. He was
oh,
showing
you
the
ain't
pop.
the only one.
He was showing the pop Funkos. I have all of them. I have all.
Sorry,
the gold,
guys,
I have
I
the
Did you
had
gold
get
to
one.
go
that?
the
Did you
belt.
get that? What was it? The Willy Wars special
Wily
edition
Wars,
for the Sega.
Wally Wars. Yeah,
Well, I know you can see like this whole glass cabinet, like the bottom, the 2 parts, like the one before the top and the one before the bottom, all this full of Mega Man stuff. Most of all that's like the Kuda Bakia Mega Man model kits. There's like 2 more that I'm missing though. But yeah, I plan on having the whole set. I even got that rare Mega Man one, the Falcon Armor one, the one that's kind of like the Designer Series X.
Yeah.
That was price. It's like $300 or $400 now. I got it was like $150. So that was a good steal on that. It's not there because it's just already filled the capacity as it is. But
That's what I'm talking about, man. They know where our wallets are, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
know.
So I
Show
guess
that belt.
In my
Show that
list,
Oh yeah, definitely
Am I
got
lit?
you, man. This become a staple on the podcast. Somebody
oh,
shout out to Ray Williams, man. I had to go put the belt on, you know what I'm saying? It's became a staple. I think I'm gonna give me a plate. We'll put BGV on there, you know what I'm saying? Undisputed champion of Nintendo Wii and Wii U. That could be my title too, baby.
I want to challenge you for the Wii U belt, please.
Why would you do that when I already got that belt?
hey, I'm gonna bring this in and challenge you right here.
I got that belt too.
Yeah,
He was at the money.
Oh, the money
It's the
bank.
right way he tried to cash it in.
I'm gonna cash it in on you. I'm gonna take your
Can't
title.
cash it in, baby. I already
Hey,
got the
I'm gonna
title.
wait till I'm gonna wait till you real grog and can't fight back. I'm gonna cash it in.
Yeah, man. You like 3 years late on that Wii U set, brother.
I know.
Hey, I already did it 3 times, man.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it no more.
Right way did it 3 times, but you know what I'm saying? I wish you best of luck. You go get it.
I ain't gonna do it no more. Hey, I'm done.
Oh no,
man.
I got Wii U. I got the Wii U already.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
yeah. I've
Oh,
been,
okay,
I've been
good.
done.
Yeah,
That was last
I remember.
year,
I remember Steve. It was like three years ago or so when we first started hanging out. I was telling you, I showed you, and you were like, "You got a lot of Wii U games." I'm like, "It's the one system I love. It's like the one system that I know is going to say." You were like, And sure enough, we did a trade. We traded I gave you a Game & Watch, right? The
when it was
Wario.
cheap. It was what, $40 then.
Yeah.
It's like $100 now.
Yeah, it's like $100 now. I mean, I'm not a big physical collector anymore. I keep what I like, and I if I want to play it, I'll flashcard or whatever, just because that's the way I like to roll. But that said, though, there's a lot of things I keep, and I realized I had a copy of Chibi Robo for GameCube on my shelf, and
nice.
Someone was talking about how that was worth a lot, and I was like,
it is.
And I looked it up. I was just like, it's $150 for Chibi Robo? Like, no one gave a crap about Chibi Robo.
I think it's like $280 now or something.
Oh,
like that.
wow.
Yeah, I need that one.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess I go last. Let me show you what I get.
Oh, here we go. Flex time.
No, it ain't really no flex.
Look at that.
So I was in California this weekend, doing Super Nintendo World. Super Nintendo World video is dropping tomorrow. It's going to be great. So make sure y'all go watch it. But
lucky mother. Let me
hey, but speaking of lucky, y'all, look. Okay, this may start something. And I'm thinking, I hope I'm not going to rabbit hole. But we was at the flea market with Mort, and I found these.
Oh my God.
$15 a piece, y'all. Batman animated series. Got Fat Two-Face.
I remember that series.
But look, this Batman right here. Look at
Are those Toy Biz? Who's the company?
No, this is Kenner.
Kenner.
This is Kenner.
Yeah, pre-Hasbro days.
Just do it, man.
Yeah, original. Look at this one. But the best one I got, this one is worth like $60, but I bought it for $50. Look at this one.
What's that one?
Oh, that Batman Returns.
The Return one? Oh, yeah.
That's tough.
That's so funny because
oh man,
that Bruce Wayne figure sitting in my kid's toy bin right now.
Wow.
I think I'm never gonna
picked it up at a garage sale.
Is this? I remember seeing this. Look, and it said Toys R Us look for $5.99.
Oh wow! Yeah. Look at that.
Somebody found a storage unit of somebody found a storage unit of like Batman figures and stuff, and we got there, and it was like 3 of these, and I didn't want to be greedy, so like I said, hey, I'll get one. Somebody else got one, and then they had these like 3 or 4, and they had like Robin and Batman, but Robin, Catwoman, and I think somebody else was like regular price. But I looked these up at the swap meet, and I was like, oh, I need to get these. So I just say, you know what? Bite the bullet, because I was gonna say, hey, but I was gonna buy 6 of them, but he wouldn't do no deal. So I'm like, you know what? I just buy these 3. And I was so worried taking these home because I had this, I had all 3 of these in my suitcase with another special
crushed or something. Yeah,
no, but it was good. I was just like, please don't go through my suitcase or don't like throw it but they came back home perfect. But I think I'm gonna give me something to put this in like a shadow box, because this right here, the Michael Keaton, I don't want to sell it, but I just want to. I'm interested when this new Flash movie come out, that this is probably going to skyrocket.
No, but I mean, if it brings you joy, man, put it in a little shadow box and put it up. If it brings you joy,
I'm putting the shadow box. I'm not selling that joint. I'm not getting the extra one to sell, but I'm like, no, let somebody else get it. And it was like, wow, just you don't see these, especially the animated series Batman, which these figures were so good back in the day, and they still hold up. Look how good Batman looks on this one.
Yeah, those are good figures.
Yep, still pretty.
These are really good figures. But last subject we're gonna talk about, y'all, closing out the podcast is anybody. We talked about a little earlier, but the PlayStation 2 VR is getting rave reviews, and man, now I'm really contemplating, should I buy it? I almost bought one today, and I looked at it. Checkout was $660, and I was like, "Oh gosh!" But they say they got 40 games in the launch window, so the launch window is probably about the first 6 months to a year. Oh my gosh, y'all!
Now,
y'all talk me off this list because I don't know if I want to buy this now. But so
let's look back. How, first off, I'm all for it. I love new tech. I got 3 Oculus. Like I've bought every one of them. Nice. I got the Go. I got I got 3 now. I had the Rift. And anyway, my point is VR is great. I think VR is fun.
They say this VR is like the best out so far.
But it isn't. Like, we could talk about that. It's great, but it's still tethered.
Yeah.
Which is already kind of like a, when you're talking about, again, we talked about how new kids and the new generation, when all these kids know how to play the Oculus. Like they've all played it. Like someone somewhere's already let them play it. My kid was
VR is popular.
And it's popular because it's kind of the, hey, I can put it on and play a game kind of thing. and all of them are wireless. Like I don't for $600, they couldn't give us wireless link of some sort. I mean, like it's weird, right?
Buying the PS5 all over again.
Yeah, but also right. So that's
more than that.
You're paying more
than PS5,
and there is no killer game out for it yet. Like all the reviews will talk you left and right about how great it is because the tech is great.
Alex.
But
that's coming to PS5?
No,
I don't know.
I'm about to say.
Not. That's the thing.
That
Everyone
is the
wants
reason
that, it's not. There's just no major game out for it yet, and also it's not backwards compatible with any of the previous
that's my biggest
VR library,
Yeah.
which is already a big deal because there weren't that many VR games to begin with.
It's actually over like 150 VR games.
Right. There's a lot of, but I mean, when you look back at the library of the bangers on the VR, I mean, Astro Boy is already the best. Like,
oh yeah, Astro Boy is definitely. And
Absolutely
then Moss is the best. Moss, but you're getting Moss 1 and 2, so that's why they brought Moss 1 back.
But you can play that.
I thought Iron Man was good.
Iron Man was cool.
Moss 1 and 2 is out on the Oculus.
It will get you sick. Iron Man will.
You gotta get your VR feet wet because I'm telling you.
Resident Evil 7 was the reason I bought my first VR headset.
Resident Evil.
That was
easy on VR.
That was worth it for me.
I don't think it's worth it yet. Like, give it some time. If you remember when the original VR came out for the Sony PlayStation 4, it came out. Then they did a second revision. The first one didn't support HDR, and then the second one fixed it and supported HDR.
The second one was much better.
The second one was better. There was just some, but they didn't. But it was a hush launch, right? Because they made mistakes and didn't really like push the new one. Like they didn't
from it. They wasn't no Vita.
No, it wasn't a Vita, but it was definitely like a hey, here's a new revision with like small changes, but we're not going to make really big announcement. I think it's not ready yet. It's out. It's too much. There's not killer apps on it yet, and
it's not going down.
I don't think it's going to go down, but you'll probably be able to pick it up secondhand by someone that spent the $600 up front, and you're gonna be able to pick that up for $400 trades.
Maybe 1 or 2 away from it. So anybody here? So everybody in agreement is not getting it right now.
I caught myself. I was gonna say I'll get it if my.
Hey, I'll get it first.
No, I'll get it if my local game store gets it because that way I can use trade. Because you can just bring in a whole bunch of stuff and then you don't have to use cash.
No, you know you're gonna buy cash. Look, I'm gonna buy it.
I ain't gonna buy cash.
We are not the people that should be answering that question. We are already compulsive buyers, right? Like we buy things because
to buy this right now. It seems so nice because I think the PlayStation 5 kind of like these new systems and way everybody's trying to scalp them and all that kind of stuff. I think we learned our lesson on that. And see how disappointing the PlayStation. Let's be honest, PlayStation 5 and the Series X is disappointing. No new good game. What game is you say this is a PlayStation 5 game?
No,
not the Series X.
I mean,
not 5. I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
You said what now?
I said maybe the Series X, but not the PS5. I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
Okay, what game is saying this is a PlayStation 5 next generation game?
Okay, so with me. And this was my initial reaction. This is something that I made my video on 2 weeks after having PS5.
Okay.
This generation of gaming, from the time I picked up my PS5 and put in Miles Morales, that was the first time that I saw a difference from PS4 to PS5. Probably not a huge jump, but I definitely noticed the difference between PS4 and PS5. And I'm not even talking like load times and stuff. I don't get that technical into things like that. Frame rates and things of that nature. Okay. I just look at, one of those things where what's in front of me, how am I enjoying it, what kind of impression it's making on me. And this was the one generation that I felt like I saw the jump right away. Every other generation, in my opinion, I did not see a jump right away. So, I mean, that's just my opinion, but
that's cool. Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to say that because I agree with you. I seen like, I did pay attention to frame rates. The frame rate was way more solid, but I mean, like, even God of War Ragnarok, all these games that are coming out on the PS5 are coming out on the PS4. And then it has an enhanced version for the PS4 Pro. So it's kind of like, if the PS4 can still handle this hardware, this graphical and these frame rates, then our PS5 obviously is not using all the juice that it has in it.
Yeah, we're not going to see
the
true greatness of the PS5 until later on in the cycle. We all know
Not
that.
about 2025.
I
honestly,
this is one of those scenarios where, like, you know, I'm a tech. This is what I do. I think Steve and I had multiple conversations on this. Like, again, the landscape of consoles has changed. We're not going to see the generational jumps that we were used to in our youth. You know, I can appreciate the fact that you noticed that jump from 4 to 5, but honestly, there really wasn't anything there. A lot of people's jump has always been you upgrade the console, you upgrade the TV. Like you're gonna get a you get a Xbox Series X, or you're gonna get a PlayStation 5. Then you're not gonna play it on a 1080p TV. You're gonna play it on a 4K TV. And then if does a 4K TV support HDR? Does it support HDMI 2.1, 120 frames a second? Then those jumps are noticeable. They are.
That's
but
right.
you have to invest.
Devil May Cry.
You gotta get the whole package.
You got to get the whole package, and it's an investment. And so my point is like, if you bought the PS5 and the Xbox Series X on day one, sure, it wasn't worth it. Now, maybe there's a few titles out there, but I don't. That question is loaded
far between, you know.
Now, because again, like Tay was saying, that you've got games that are still being released for the previous gen, and they did that because they couldn't get the SKUs out in people's hands. So developmentally, it was a lot of money left on the table for a game like God of War, Ragnarok, or Spider-Man Miles Morales. If they had never released that on PS4, yeah, it was still a system seller, but there would have been a lot of people that didn't get to play it, because how many people during COVID didn't get to play that game if they didn't have a PS5?
Yeah, like, very true.
Yeah, and so this new generation, I think we have to wipe the board now that console gaming, or gaming in general, is going the same route that PC gaming is, where it's essentially just same architecture, new CPU, new GPU, new CPU, new GPU. And we're going to keep getting pro and pro iterations. And so the PS5, honestly, as much as they want to hype it up and talk about all this new tech and whatever else BS that they want to say about loading time and whatever, it's essentially a PS4 with, if you want to get technical, PS4 with actual PCI lanes for storage for fast loading, a new graphics card, and a new CPU, and it's an interface OS change, but it's just a PS4 Pro. It's just that generation onward, and I think that's where we're going to keep seeing it, because game development, AAA game development, is too expensive. These games cost multi-million dollars to make. You're not going to make a game for one system. It's the same reason why the Wii U. We get that constant conversation. Oh, the Switch is full of ports. Why is it full of ports?
Because they didn't get that money out the Wii U.
Because the Wii U had like 10 million consoles sold worldwide, but they spent millions of dollars on Tropical Freeze, on Mario Kart, on Mario Brothers U, on
Deluxe,
Deluxe,
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker. All of those games had millions of dollars dumped in development time. And for them to just go, well, I just want a sequel. Well, that's money left on the table. You developed that game, but no one played it. Then you drop it on the Switch, and that remaster, it's just a port, gets 20 million copies sold.
Yeah.
That's 3 times more than
Skyward Sword.
That's more than the consoles.
That was on the Wii.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you a question. Do you think, this is my personal opinion, but I'm going to ask you, do you think that in the gaming world, as far as console gaming is concerned, do you think we hit a plateau? Like, I think we're only getting subtle changes. It's not going to be like huge.
Again, this is back to the technical side point, right? Like, you can't judge consoles and the way we're moving without looking at the makers of the hardware. If we look at the NVIDIA graphics cards, for example, right? If you're a PC gamer and you went from a 9 series to a 10 series to a 20 series to a 30 series. And each one of those jumps are thousands of dollars depending on how big of a card you go. And the incremental jumps between those are not that big, but the tech behind it, right? It's, if you have a 10 series card and you go to a 30 series card, that jump to RTX, which is ray tracing, was huge. That's where they're moving towards, right? Like, it's no longer about how many graphics we can push. It's graphics and fidelity. And so you're fine-tuning. And some people don't care about that, but also they don't care about that because they've got a $150 Walmart TV that they can't see that. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like you can have $1,000 PC, but if you're still playing on a 20-inch LCD from 6 years ago that you got with your HP pack-in, you're not seeing the fidelity. You're not seeing that 165 frame rate. You're not seeing that G-Sync. You're not seeing the OLED. You're not seeing any of that pop. You're not seeing Dolby Vision. None of that matters to you if you are a lower budget gamer, which is where the Switch comes into play, where some of those people go, the Switch just works for me. Well, I don't understand. I don't see the difference. And that's because they're not seeing the tech. So you're right. The incremental jumps in technology are smaller. They're there if you know what to look for, but they're not for the masses anymore. So the changes are always specific. Like the jump from the 4 to the 5, I think the biggest thing you'll notice is that you'll play games that are they're a lot more darkness, but then there's a lot of like effects, particle effects everywhere. That sparkly effect
and reflections and stuff.
Reflections and spark. All of that
Spider-Man.
All of that pops. Like Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I mean, they gave him that shock attack, that orange shock attack. You know, his electricity attack, because it's so vibrant.
But Spider-Man Remastered, you know, on the PS5, you can see that when you switch to the modes, I can see it on there like ray tracing when you're on the window.
Turn all of those modes on like an OLED, or if you've got the PC version, turn on that 120 frames a second mode and play it. It'll blow you away. That is the jump that these companies expect you to see. But they don't realize that the entry to that is not just your $500 console. It's the $500 console plus the $900 TV plus
That's right. And let me just point out something, JoJo, because it's very true. I did purchase a 75-inch LG with HDR, and it has the capabilities of reaching 8K. So that was definitely a big thing for me, because it's like, I'm not going to get a TV that's not capable of running the maximum when the PS5 gets to its its peak of development and stuff like that. So that's something that I think that the casual gamer doesn't think about. They don't think about input lag or
they don't care about
how many hertz. They don't care until they go over to somebody's house,
or they don't care until that rhetoric is used, right?
So somebody else keeps
regurgitating it.
We saw it in Destiny.
But I feel like if you have that TV now, you have that that hardware. I have a OLED right here too, and I have the PS4 Pro hooked up here. the PS4 Pro is look at your TV in the background, Limited. Look at this guy. So I got the PS4 Pro set up here, and I play Final Fantasy VII the remake.
So it on HDR
a little bit. On
HDR.
Looks great. So and I have the PS5 downstairs, but it's cool. So if I'm coming upstairs, I want to play. I could just save my data and then continue it on the PS4 Pro. And I kid you not, when on the PS4 Pro on this quality TV, I can't see the difference.
You can't.
Well, I can't see the difference.
TVs are like he just said, PC graphic cards. Graphic cards, one or two a year. TVs come out every year.
That TV they're talking about, that OLED
with technology,
those
and
OLEDs
honestly, you gotta keep going.
They came out with the PS4 Pro. That was the TV you were supposed to be playing the PS4 Pro on, but they were still $2,000, $3,000.
If you get a TV like Mr. Wright Way got a TV like this year, you will see PS5 at its peak.
There's
a difference.
And
I'll get my 2.1 and all that.
All these TVs are made different. Like you can get a entry level 120 hertz HD Vizio, but then but then you step up and say like you want to get like the top of line LG, whatever it is. You're gonna see that difference. You're gonna be like, oh, this is like.
But you have to know what to look for, and you have to set the mode right. You'd be surprised how many people buy these OLEDs, plug in their console, and they don't have it set right, or they plug it in with an old cable, or they don't plug it into the 2.1 port, and so these consoles have to be able to tell you that, right? So like the PS5 and the Xbox both have a menu setting to go in to test your TV and make sure all of that works. And once it works, it bangs and it looks amazing.
Depends on what you're playing, because like Call of Duty, where like frames per second matter, input lag, you want to put on game mode.
You want or that game has a visual mode versus a performance mode.
Right. So with that, you want to use HDR. Like the maximum visual. So it's definitely a difference, and it's all in what you're looking for. But big time. Like
that's a good question for you guys though. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer visual quality or steadier frame rate?
Depends on the game.
I feel like I don't care how it looks. I need to be able to get my information from the console to the screen as fast as possible. Now, if I'm playing something that's more of a visual game, if I'm playing God of War or something like that, now I want that to look beautiful. Like I'm changing it to vivid or HDR. I want the best visual setting for that. Yeah. But when I'm playing Call of Duty, like I'll double check if I feel like I'm reacting slow, like I will change it, make sure I'm on game mode. Like that's how I'm on it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like those things play a role. And I think people they don't look at it in that aspect. And I guess in a sense, when it comes to that, maybe I can be technical and I will judge it based on that.
Right.
Because of how much I play Call of Duty, because it definitely makes a difference.
It does
all the difference.
So it's those incremental changes, man.
And I'm about to say it's funny because my brother, he recently just got a LG, I think CX, like I think it's like the 2021, 2022 model, something like that. But he's got that, has PS5 for a while, and he started playing Horizon. And I think it defaults to, I think it's quality mode. So whatever that has like the best visual fidelity on it. And when I was playing, I was like, oh man, you need to switch to performance mode. So he didn't really know the difference. So when I switched over performance mode, that's when it went from like 4K native 30 to like, I think it's like 1440 and 60. Those jump just like that. Yep. Because how you look at like, because like how Sony's marketing it is, you can't really market like 120 frames, stuff like that, because that's something you have to physically see, right? So, but it's a lot easier to show like more graphical fidelity in games like that. It's like 4K, 8K, like what they have on the box of the PS5. That's something you can more easily broadcast, right? Well, to advertise to people. But when it comes to like performance, that's why whenever games I play like on my high-end PC or PS5, I always go to performance, because whenever you're playing like first-person shooters, third-person shooters, stuff like that, that performance is key, because that's like the difference between you, like what like Video Game Vulture was saying, like, because I know he's a big Call of Duty player. You'll be able to tell the difference between like 30 frames to like 120 frames. Yeah, you'll be able to tell that shit, and it will definitely affect your performance. Like when you play online,
I mean, it really is a night and day difference.
Esport like gaming
years ago was when I really paid attention to it. My buddy was kind of telling me. I thought he was just kind of talking, but then he said something. And I got like a low end gaming TV that has gaming input mode, and I was just like, I literally went like my KD like double. And I'm not even kidding you. Like those things, it really matters what you play. For instance, my oldest son, shout out to little Marcus, BGB Jr. His birthday is Thursday. He asked me for a monitor because he'll come on like right now. My setup, my PC setup, and he'll play.
I mean that one right there. So my Velix right here, the screen that I have in there is upgraded. So it's a 1440p LG. What is it? Their ultra gears, what I think is they called it, and it's 165 hertz. And you know, a lot of the new method of playing Street Fighter 5 has been like you go in and kind of tweak things to get it to run at the 120 frames a second or that 120 hertz, because that's where e-players are playing. That's where we're moving towards. So like if I'm gonna keep up and play with the big boys for fighting games, you gotta get the Velix set up. So that one's been set up that way. But that's you're right. Like that frame rate, the monitor matters. Like, and people don't realize that. Like nowadays, it's lingo. Alex up here in chat was talking about don't underestimate calibration. Games are mastered like movies at this point. You want to put your TV into custom mode for Sony's Filmmaker, for Panasonic, and get your LG calibrated. Yeah, almost every TV now has got a detect what the content is mode. So Filmmaker mode, for example, on the LG, my OLED, my C10 has that. And so when I'm watching something like on my Apple TV or whatever, if you have the Apple TV turned on, there's a setting in there for watching movies that'll say send what it's supposed to send. Like so it automatically switches over to Dolby Vision, or it'll switch to that, and all the colors shift. So there's no calibration needed because the panel has been certified with a specific mode. And these gaming TVs and gaming modes do that too. Like the Series X will flip my OLED to gaming response time for VRR. So the TV will flip, and you'll see it flash up, and at the top right hand corner it'll go, your TV is now in this mode, because that's what the developers want you to play on.
Right.
Which helps. So yeah, I mean, but see, that's a whole new lingo. Like we didn't have that before.
That's very true.
The consoles are doing this now, the way gaming is moving. So that's why it's a hard question to answer when it's like, is it worth it now? Because the incremental change is so small visually, but tech-wise, right? The tech has changed the way we play games. controllers, rumble, feedback, response time, frame rate, color grading, sound, all of that, delivery, Game Pass, all of that are whole new methods of modern gameplay that we just.
But you know what, Joe?
Yeah.
I feel like console gamers are late to the game. Like, because we talk to a PC gamer, they're like, we've been on it. You know what I'm saying? You learn a lot from PC games.
Like
that game is on 30 frames a second. What are you talking about?
The marketing term they used this time was like blistering speeds using SSDs. Like I was using SSDs like 2019, 2018 or something like that. Yeah. So the whole SSD rhetoric, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. We've been on that shit for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so Sony is. I love some Sony marketing with Mark Cerny talking about like their engine and their like SSD loading and all this
emotion
stuff.
engine. That's right. The emotion,
all of that lingo, using that all that wonderful term. They are the Apple in a way where they want to use like Retina display. As I'm an Apple guy, and I'm like, come on, Retina display, like you're just naming something that's a higher DPI and higher whatever. Same thing. It does work.
Hey, remember how they used to sell the phones? 17 megapixels.
Yeah. and now you've got camera guys going. You've got people like MKBHD. You know, he just did his most recent video talking about like these phones have got like 48 megapixel and higher cameras, and
you can shoot the moon.
Yeah, but all of them bin the pixels, and the best picture you get is still a 12 megapixel picture because it's called pixel binning. Like it's a whole thing, but it's not about that. It's about the tech. You're pushing the tech further, the algorithm, the processing, all of that matters nowadays. So same thing, man. All this tech is just refinement. And
that's true.
That next Switch, that next PS5 Pro, PS6, whatever, I just don't see them moving on from backwards compatibility is going to be a thing now in the sense that it's the same development kit. This just kind of upgraded because
don't get me started on Microsoft robbing us.
Well, that way they don't get a development team could be working on a game for 2 years before Sony announces a console, right? So let's say Sony's going to announce the PS6 next year, right? Let's say hypothetically, and you've got a team that's been working on this game that's unannounced for 2 years, 2 years of development. Then Sony goes, hey, we like the game that you're releasing, but why don't you hold on to it for the PS6? I'm like, well, we've been working on it for 2 years on an old development kit. And I'm like, yeah, but the PS6 development kit will be the exact same plus these new features. So then they give them that, and then they just add these new features into it. Right. And that's what we're going to get these games. That's why we got ports. That's why Ragnarok, for example, still has a PS4 game port, right? Because it was developed for the PS4 with PS5.
And there is a difference in the copies too. That's why, like, even if you play a PS4 copy, you put it in PS5. There's a slight difference, to make it a little bit better to, take advantage of the upgraded things.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball did that too. Dragon Ball Kakarot.
Sony
better on the PS5.
Yeah, Sony caps it though, right? So Sony hard caps it. So if you pop in a PS4 game that does not have a PS5 patch, it will run like you're playing it on a PS4 Pro. Period. It won't run any better. And that personally, like, I think that's lame because that's where Xbox was like, if you don't have a patch, we'll do the FPS boost in the background. And
what you say? Hold on, Richard. What you about to say, man?
I was gonna say, I'll be honest here. I bought the PS5 for one game.
Which one?
Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic remake.
There you go.
And then they're like, guess what? Psych. And I'm like, yo, sorry.
It got canned, right?
Asper was the one that was, because they did the remakes and they put the remakes on Switch, and they were like, hey, we're already a year and a half, 2 years into the game. Apparently there was some great feedback, and then something happened from Sony and they said, we don't like it. So they completely said, okay, we're starting over and we're going to use a different publisher, and it's up in the air now. We don't know what's going on. They did that trailer with Revan in the front and everybody went berserk during the PlayStation.
One of the state of plays.
So they did that. And I was like, okay, I had PS5 on the back burner. I was like, okay, I got my Series X. I'm good. I'm going to get a PS5, but I'm going to wait. But then they said, hey, it's coming. It's going to be next year. And I'm like, oh man, I got to get a PS5 now. So I'm grinding to find one for like 4 or 5 weeks. And I finally get one. And then
that news comes
2
out.
weeks after that, guess what? it's not coming. I'm like, I can't believe you.
At least you got one.
That's a perfect example right there. You just mentioned that's a perfect example of Sony doing that money hat game where they pay for the exclusivity for a game that is notoriously known. I mean, you ask anybody, not to the Old Republic, where the part 1 and 2, where did you play them on? Xbox.
I did. I have them. Mm-hmm. I have multiple versions of them.
They're almost unanimously known as an Xbox or a PC game. So like the fact that Sony went in and was like, I'm a pay them good money and get that exclusivity to get people that would have bought an Xbox, because they would have immediately bought an Xbox.
For sure.
They then turned around and bought a PS5, which is like, it's smart. But again, I don't feel sorry for them when, Microsoft wants to buy Activision.
And that kind of started right after that too. If you notice, like once they announced that, that's when Microsoft's like, "Oh, y'all want to play? Okay."
But Microsoft, I feel like, isn't taking advantage of that.
No, they're not.
But I also feel like they're kind of moving into a lane, which will work for them, because they kind of became like the Renaissance man of this lane with the Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they're going more towards that, more like kind of with the. It's sad that I forget the name of that shit. What was that? Stadia. I think that they're moving in that lane. That's sad. That's
I don't know about cloud gaming. They do have the capability of it, but I think they're really doing the publishing game. They really
just kind of having more of a subscription base. I feel like Microsoft has turned their attention to that, to making their money, because I feel like they, in my opinion, it's shown that they can't really keep up with Sony as far as, them being competitive, because they haven't really been, competitive. You're going to have your Microsoft guys, Sony guys, Nintendo guys, whatever. But I also feel like that's where Microsoft is heading, and it would be a bad move for them. And like I said, like when I bought one game for the Series X ever, and that was Call of Duty, because I got Game Pass Ultimate that included online gaming, and I only go online for Call of Duty. I can care less about anything else. So it didn't make sense for me to do PlayStation. I'm like, I might as well get it for this because I have the Ultimate. So,
but hey guys, that's good. We're gonna go ahead and clear this out. We went 2 hours, and it's been great conversation. Real good conversation. We want to thank Retro Neo Ness and Joe for joining us this week. Guys, we're gonna go around one time, tell everybody where they can find you. Retro Ness or Retro Ness.
Retro Neo Ness.
I know. Hey, I keep saying I want to take the Neo out because I'm like just being hating. I'm like, you always
just call me Ness for short. Just call me Ness for short if it works that way.
I love Ness on Smash Bros.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram at Retro Neo Ness. Post pretty regularly on the Instagram, just my new finds, a lot of Neo Geo related stuff. And then of course I try to post enough videos on YouTube, so more videos coming.
Cool. Stay out of Goodwill.
Hey man, sorry about that.
Hey, Joe, where can you find you at, man?
You can hit me up. I mean, you can find all my social media links at themidgeekcrisis.com. It's no dash in the URL, so the THEMIDGEEK crisis.com. You'll find me you'll see my Instagram, my Twitch, my YouTube, all of that. I'm pretty active on Twitter. You'll see a lot of my pictures, my finds, my posts, my projects. I'm a big project guy. We are live every Wednesday night, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Me and my partner, Pedro, if you watch the show, you'll get to know him. And we kind of do the same thing. We just talk and talk about the pop culture, movies, music, tabletop gaming, retro, modern gaming, etc.
Pedro for president.
Yeah, Pedro for president. We have a meme for that. But yeah, all of that. That's where you can find me. And mostly on Twitter, you'll see me post on a lot of the mods. I do a lot of repair work, as Steve mentioned earlier. I do a lot of his repair work. Modifications, RGB mods, any type of like repairs for retro consoles, get them up and running on new stuff.
Awesome.
That's what I like to do. So I'll post pictures about all that. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
And Darkness, what's up? The world champion.
All right. Y'all can find the world champ at the world. No, I'm kidding. Video game voting on all gaming and social platforms. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm going to start being more active on those.
But hey, take your time, man. You're doing a good job. You're doing a real good job. You got good videos coming out every week, so you're doing good, man.
Appreciate you.
And AO Mega, what's up, man? Where you gonna find you? I love the new name. You picked the right one.
Yeah, it fits me very well, man. I think it was tailor made for me. I'm like, man, that shit surely roll off the tongue pretty good, man.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, you can find me on all my social medias. Hey, Omega. Everything's been changed over. A lot more active on YouTube nowadays. I made a promise to myself. I'm putting out 2 videos this week, so definitely stay tuned for that. You can definitely catch me active more on Twitter, where you can get some of my nonsense that I be spitting here and there, and also get some hate from certain individuals. And this is just a PSA for me. Never let anybody bully you into telling you what game you should and shouldn't play. So that's right. So that's gonna be the last message for me. So, but yeah, that's
right. And we got Life of Tay Gaming because he likes to find the things in life.
Hey, you guys, I'm Tay, Life of Tay Gaming on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok now. So you guys,
TikTok,
aka Eric Cannon.
That boy TikToking.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. Life of Tay Gaming, you guys.
Well,
make sure you subscribe. If you love GameCube and you love retro and modern content, go subscribe to the channel. We doing that over there.
And speaking of TikTok, right here, we got this TikTok thing I found.
I
found this TikTok now. But guys, thank y'all so much. We did have a real great episode. Let me know in the comments if you like this longer format. We try to do about an hour, 30 minutes, 90 minutes. But we got 2 more guests today, so it was really good. And I'm gonna get ready to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. So let's see. That's gonna be good. We'll let you know on Friday, but we will be back Friday right after SmackDown. This is a makeup, but this is just a one-time thing. But anyway, guys, thank y'all so much, and always remember to do it the right way. See y'all next time.
Peace out.